lawn and garden hydrated this spring with a Green Thumb Never Kink Garden Hose from Metters Lumber True Value for only $14.99 while supplies last. This 5/8 inch by 50-foot heavy-duty hose features self-straightening technology to guarantee no kinks and tangles. It also has antimicrobial protection against mold and mildew. Stop into Metters Lumber True Value for this bargain of the month and other great lawn care products to make your yard the envy of the block.
True Grit Running Company is where perseverance meets passion. Whether you're training for your next marathon or just comfortable shoes to keep up with your kids, we have the gear to help you reach your goals. With our slow motion gait analysis and our extensive product knowledge, we have the right pair of shoes for you. We also carry apparel, nutrition, hydration accessories, injury prevention gear, and recovery products. We offer classes, workshops, and group runs. Lace up, show up, and get your grit on. True Grit Running Company, 6808 Rogers Avenue, Suite B, behind Chick-fil-A.
It's Southern Tire Mart Free Brake Inspection Tuesday. Razorback news, podcasts, videos, and tons more online now. Only at hitthatline.com.
Don Le Batard.
Greg Cody of the Miami Herald has announced that we are the biggest and best radio show in America on Tuesdays.
Stugats.
You're welcome.
This is the Don Le Batard Show with the Stugats on ESPN Radio.
Boom, 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 no let me hear say well. I say boom, 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 no everybody say well. I say boom, boom, boom.
If you missed any of our interviews, go check them out on demand in the Dan Le Batard podcast, brought to you by the Capital One Saver Card. Earn 4% cash back on dining and entertainment, 2% at grocery stores, and 1% on all other purchases. Capital One, what's in your wallet?
We've got a minor celebrity on the line who wants to yell at Greg Cody about his Eddie Murphy opinion. But before we do that, I'd just like to get Greg Cody's opinion. He was laughing during the break about O.J. Simpson and Bill Cosby being on Twitter, and we didn't know which one was weirder, the way that both of them introduced themselves as old people to Twitter. Bill Cosby from jail saying, hey, 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 it's America's dad, or O.J. Simpson being like, I've got a lot of getting even to do.
Right.
Put it on the poll, Guillermo, like, which is the weirder Twitter message from the land of disgrace? O.J. Simpson's or Bill Cosby?
I expected Simpsons. I was not expecting Cosby to come out on Twitter like that.
I'm America's dad, chiming in on Twitter from prison.
My goodness.
There are, deadbeat absentee fathers who are better, closer to America's dad than that guy. Please. Cosby,
I mean,
get
the
out of here.
sitcom dad is basically dead on television. It's Phil from Modern Family and my father. That's it. You guys have killed the sitcom dad.
Which is why your dad is asking for the big bucks.
That's right.
Yes.
Again, my father said this, and you guys, I'm not making this up. It's been echoing in my ears since he said it at Father's Day. When you have a one-of-a-kind talent, you have to pay a premium.
Hey, the man.
It's just stuck there. It's sitting there
My
in your
father
ears.
said it, and I looked at him, and I'm like, wow, that would be really funny if he was doing it as a spoof. But he's not. He's serious. And it's still funny because he's serious.
He knows what he's got.
Yep.
He knows.
He does.
He knows his value.
Mm-hmm.
So this is Greg Cody arguing on behalf of my father's comedic value, but arguing against Eddie Murphy's comedic value. So we bring in our minor celebrity here. Randy Scott is the closest thing we have around here to a stand-up comic. If you saw him on our New York extravaganza that wasn't an extravaganza, he's actually he's got professional comic chops, unlike all of the rest of us who are trying to do comedy poorly. And so why has he decided to get involved here? Does he have some passionate Eddie Murphy opinions that I didn't know about, Randy?
Yeah, Eddie Murphy is a comedic genius. He belongs. The Mount Rushmore starts with him. Mike Bryan, tremendous point. A lot of it's problematic because it was very much reflective of an 80s culture that allowed for the genius of Andrew. There is no Andrew Dice Clay without Eddie Murphy. Stu Gotts, know that like you know yourself.
Well, listen, I'm aware of that, but there are very few pioneers in the, stand-up comedian game, and this is one of them. I mean, Richard Pryor, I agree, should be on the Mount Rushmore, and Eddie Murphy came after Richard Pryor. Andrew Dice Clay was first. I mean, he did whatever he was doing, he was first, and I'm not certain there's been anything like it after.
He wasn't even first with a leather jacket.
That's a good point, Mike. I was rolling there, though, Mike.
But you guys are throwing out Seinfeld and Dice and Richard Pryor. Like, do you have anybody in the last 20 years? Like, anybody? I mean, you want to throw like a Mitch Hedberg out there?
I was going to go Hedberg.
Well, I was going to go Louis C.K., but then he was doing all that stuff.
How about
also
Chris Rock?
Problematic. Billy, why don't we go with Hedberg? Okay, let's go with Louis C.K.'s replacement in this Life of Pets animated series, Patton Oswalt. Patton Oswalt's great. Is
Chappelle, is that modern enough, or is that too old?
You could make a case for Chappelle being on Mount Rushmore as well.
How about Rod Dangerfield?
Are you, Greg?
What do you mean?
Take my wife, please.
What do you mean?
See, is that even Dangerfield? I thought that he stole that from somebody.
Yeah, that's not Dangerfield.
Who is it?
I thought Billy throwing out Dane Cook was
a joke
in itself, but that was anytime you can throw somebody out who doesn't always use his own material, like you gotta do that.
How about George Carlin? He's firmly entrenched there, right?
Well, you guys have like 40 people in the Mount Rushmore.
Well, that's how you do a Mount Rushmore.
Randy, give
four.
us your Mount Rushmore,
Phyllis
Randy,
Diller.
and file whatever your objection is with
Jackie
Cody
Green.
for the love of God.
Jerry
I'll
Lewis.
Go current Mount Rushmore Millennial Comics. We'll go with Chris D'Elia. We'll go with Big J. Okerson, Nikki Glazer, and Hannibal Buress.
Who?
That's what I'll throw out there.
Greg,
now.
Greg, have you heard of any
more?
of those people? Have you heard of any of those people, Greg Cody?
No, I've vaguely heard of the last one.
I need a comparison from Greg, longevity-wise, from someone who was there at the beginning of both eras, right?
Right.
Carlin v. Seinfeld, Greg. Who are you going with and why?
Wow.
Well, totally different types of comics. I mean, one's a classic stand-up and the other's more of a
This
CD
was the Dan Le Batard Show on ESPN Radio.
We live in a racist country.
Stugatz here. How often do you think about your socks? If you're like I used to be, not much. So what if I told you there are socks out there that will change the way you think about socks forever? Well, they exist, and they're called Bombas. Bombas are the most comfortable socks in the history of feet. Made from premium cotton, Bombas stay warm in the winter and cool in the summer, and every pair comes with a built-in blister tab, innovative arch support, stay-up technology, and a seamless toe. With many colors, patterns, lengths, and styles, Bombas look great in the gym, at the office, and out in the town. Bombers are what feet daydream about. And for every purchase you make, Bombas donates a pair to someone in need. How great is that? So keep cool, keep comfortable, and keep contributing with the best socks in the history of feet, Bombas. Buy your Bombas at bombas.com/Dan today and get 20% off your first purchase. That's BOMBAS.com/Dan for 20% off your first purchase. Bombas.com/Dan. Bombas.com/Dan.
The all-new halftime.
Can you imagine the fury that would come from Tommy Kraft if I did not make it to the station after Arkansas won a national championship and John and Tommy and you were on location somewhere and they had no one else to man the board? I would get fired the next day.
That's okay. You really think I'm going to be able to do a radio show the day after Arkansas wins a national championship in baseball? If that actually does go down, I'll have to whisper the show. I'll have no voice left. It will be all gone. I'm really good at containing my voice and actually keeping the strength of it going. I don't get hoarse. I will be hoarse. I will have nothing left. I'd need it to be an interactive radio show involving our FaceTime so I could write on a notebook the things I want our listeners to hear. I hope in your stupor, you're able to do the show alone.
We could do the show in Morse code.
Every weekday from 12 to 2, only on ESPN 95.3.
It's Truck Month 2.0 at Harry Robinson, and all the 2018s have got to go. There are only 6 2018 Sierra trucks remaining. They have to sell this month. Discounts over $15,000 off retail while they last. And the all-new 2019 GMC Sierra with a redesigned body style and the all-new tailgate. Take $12,000 off retail or choose 0% for 72 months. It's Truck Month 2.0. All the 18s have got to go at Harry Robinson Buick GMC. Exit 11 off of I-540 in Fort Smith.
Head to toe, it's gotta be Jelco for hard work and the great outdoors.
With quality
Pride, some comfort you like, and savings that you're looking for.
We've got the shoes and boots, steel toes too, outerwear and a whole lot more.
Head to toe, it's gotta be gel coat.
For hard work and the great outdoors.
For almost 70 years, Crabtree RV in Alma has been helping people in the River Valley get out and enjoy the great outdoors. And that tradition continues today with our brand new body shop, a first-class service department, and a friendly staff to help you choose from the top brands in the industry. So put away the devices and get out this summer to enjoy all that the natural state has to offer. With a little help from Crabtree RV in Alma, where your family's dreams come true.
Alma Tractor and Equipment and New Holland is here to help you tackle spring during our Dealer Days event. Take advantage of special offers and finance options on all New Holland tractors, from compact tractors all the way up to utility tractors. Get cash back plus 4.5% for 60 months or 0% for 84 months. Show your field who's boss with a New Holland tractor and save big during Dealer Days at Alma Tractor and Equipment in Alma. Hurry, sale ends June 30th.
Elite Roofing is a locally owned roofing contractor. If you're building a new home or maybe need a new roof on your existing home, Elite Roofing can take care of you. Elite Roofing is known for their dependability and reliability. Just ask any of their satisfied customers. They are licensed and insured, and references are available upon request. If you need a roof, call your local roofing contractors. Elite Roofing, 478-8668. That's 478-8668. Elite Roofing, 478-8668.
ESPN Arkansas weather.
Partly sunny sky, a chance of isolated showers or storms today. Our high this afternoon in the low to mid 80s. Tonight we're looking at a decent chance of showers and storms, and overnight low in the middle to upper 60s. We could see widespread showers and thunderstorms back in the picture Wednesday. High temperatures mid to upper 80s. I'm Sally Russell with your forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
Weather is brought to you by Mosquito Joe. Don't let mosquitoes ruin your outside fun this year. Call Mosquito Joe at 479-202-9960 to keep your yard mosquito free, or visit arkansas.mosquitojoe.com.
KERX Paris Fort Smith. The Bud Light Countdown is on. Arkansas football begins in 74 days.
Good morning, Vietnam!
Broadcasting live from the Bud Light Studio.
I love Arkansas! I love everything here! Give me that thing here! Woo!
On your favorite Arkansas sports talk station.
Why did that happen in Fayetteville, Arkansas? Dixon Street. It'll get you.
Streaming live from
Hit that line.
.com.
You want answers! I want the truth! You can't handle the truth!
This is Halftime with Phil Elson and Tye Richardson. Exclusive coverage from Omaha on Halftime is brought to you by Razorback Camper Sales. Exit 1 off the bypass in Hot Springs and RazorbackCamperSales.com. And Randall Ford, 5500 Rogers Avenue in Fort Smith, the 4th oldest dealer in the U.S. And by your Arkansas Scholarship Lottery.
It's almost halftime.
Well, it's not the way that we planned it, but it is the way that things work out. It'll be the last day of College World Series coverage. I'd like to be doing the show today from Omaha, as we had for the last, 3 or 4 shows, but not the case today. Arkansas baseball has already arrived in Arkansas up at XNA, and it's weird today because I'm doing the show in reverse from the way I've done it in many, many ways this season, Tye Richardson. And I guess it makes sense because this is the last athletic event that I cover for Arkansas until the start of women's basketball season in November. So for all these months, what has it been? It's been like 7 months of travel between women's basketball and baseball from November through mid-June. I've done all this driving up here to Fayetteville and doing shows at airports before flying out with the teams because they never travel in the morning. They never fly out in the morning. It's always an afternoon flight. Well, it was a morning flight today out of Omaha's airport, and so now we're kind of doing the show in reverse. I flew with the team here. I'm at the Regional Jet Center right outside XNA Airport, doing the show here with Tye on FaceTime, and then I'm going to drive back to Little Rock. So I mean, this is I guess it seems like the perfect way to bookend a season where we've been traveling like this. Though I really would have liked to continue doing this show in Omaha over the next week. We would have been at T. Henry's if Arkansas had been able to hold on yesterday against Texas Tech. but it just didn't happen. And so here we are, and this turns into a season summary in many ways over the next couple of hours. And, of course, lots of other sports talk involving Arkansas athletics. We'll have Nikki Chavanel joining us later on in hour number 1 to get a talk on recruiting, and Matt Jones joins us in hour number 2. Matt's probably been covering Arkansas baseball more in the weeds than just about anybody else, and out of the great coverage that many of the Arkansas media outlets did. It would be fun to talk about this season and the College World Series with Matt Jones. All right, so post-mortem. Disappointing end of the season. There's no other way to put it. Especially when you'll hear people say sometimes, "I'd rather lose 10-0 than lose 1-0 or lose 5-4." One-run losses just get at you because there are so many little things that can happen in a one-run game that make the difference between a win and a loss. And that's why you're looking at these two games thinking, boy, I mean, if you make contact in this situation, if this guy gets a base hit in that situation, this is where all the second guessing about, should Dave have bunted in the 8th inning against Florida State on Saturday? Should he have bunted in the 9th inning or in the 8th inning or in the 9th inning yesterday with Trevor Ezell trying to set up Casey Martin? I mean, it's all one-run games. These little decisions that seem little when you're watching a game that's decided by 6 or 7 runs, they're not so little when you're talking about a one-run game. And these were winnable baseball games, Ty. They were 2 winnable baseball games. It has nothing to do with Cinderella. It has nothing to do about being an underachieving team. It all has to do with just a little execution in a spot here, a little execution in a spot there, and you're still in Omaha and you're talking about playing tomorrow. But that's not what happens. Mistakes end up occurring. A slider left up in the zone that turns into a homer. 2 pitches after a double play ball turned into just 1 out instead of 2. That was a huge play in yesterday's baseball game. Inability to make the right kind of contact with certain runners in scoring position. Not just base hits, but the right kind of contact to move a guy from second to third and maybe set somebody up. Just doesn't happen. You get a bullpen that's been very, very good this year, but they had some struggles holding close leads late in the season. And now you're left in a position where I don't think there's any doubt about this, Ty. This is a very successful year for Arkansas baseball. 10th, just remove the trip to the College World Series, 20 SEC wins, a division championship, a 5 national seed, hosting a regional, hosting a super regional, and then, by the way, you won the super regional, so you do go to Omaha. Any season that ends in Omaha is a successful one. But it also leaves you wanting more when you go 0-2 and barbecue.
Here's what the word that was talked around yesterday was disappointing. And if you're going to say that, Phil, you have to separate it. The trip to Omaha was a disappointment. It was disappointing. You are allowed to say that. This team went 0-2 with the road they had in Omaha. They should have gone farther. That's okay to say. But I kind of cringe when people say the season overall was a disappointment based on what you lost last year and just how it played out. I don't think that's fair to this ball club. I don't think it's fair to Dave Van Horn. But if you want to characterize the trip to Omaha itself, the 2 games, the 2 losses to Florida State and Texas Tech, I'm okay with that. And I know they were heartbreaking games, the 1-0 shutout to Florida State and then the 5-4 game where you tied it up in the 8th and then let it go in the 9th. That's understandable. And I can understand fans' gripes about that. When it comes to judging and criticizing Dave Van Horn's decision, that's kind of getting in the weeds a little bit. I don't know if I have the baseball acumen to accurately depict if they're right, determining if he was wrong or not. But that's where it gets. That's kind of where I draw the line, Phil, when people start referencing this season to be disappointing, because it's not. The trip was. There's a big difference when you say that.
Yes, I think that's absolutely right. And look, there is no doubt. You don't want to be the first team eliminated from the College World Series, not at all. I mean, if you feel like maybe you accomplished a little bit more with just one victory and staying for a couple of extra days and trying to keep it going. But I mean, what lacked in the College World Series? Well, overall offense lacked. It wasn't just the 1-0 loss to Florida State on Saturday. It was also the 5-4 loss yesterday. And admittedly, 4 runs is usually enough for a win for this team. There's a big difference in the record between when you score 3 runs or less or 4 runs or more. They don't lose a lot of ball games when scoring 4 runs or more. So 4 runs should have been enough, but you still had opportunities to do more than score 4 runs. You have 8 runners left on base. Hogs yesterday, especially against the bullpen late, could not come through with the clutch base hit. I know you got the sac fly from Kenley in the 8th inning to tie the game, but you're still looking for, at that point, 1 run's nice, but you're looking for base hits. You're looking for clutch moments to drive in multiple runs and maybe re-grab the lead. All right, some things that really stand out from yesterday's game. Now, I thought Connor Nolan was good. I thought Connor Nolan gave Arkansas a good 4 innings. And I don't think they were going to ask him to go any more than that. And honestly, I was a little bit surprised that they let him go into the 4th inning. And not saying that that's a reason that they lost, but I was surprised. I thought 3 innings, and then they would utilize the length out of the bullpen. So the walk to lead off the 4th inning, obviously would hurt. But then Nolan, and this is one way you can tell he was on, got a lot of ground balls yesterday. A lot of ground balls, including what should have been a double play off of the 8th overall pick in the Major League Draft, Tech shortstop Josh Young. A routine double play ball hit just to Casey Martin's left. I mean, that's a godsend when you're a shortstop and you have the ball hit to your left that brings you to second base. And in so many opportunities, Casey would just scoop it up, take it to the bag, force out a runner at second, then the throw to first is the easy part. Well, he took his eye off the ball just for a brief moment, and maybe it was to take a look and see where he was located in relation to the base, where the runner was. But that brief moment, taking his eye off the ball, cost him the second out because he kicks it a little bit, and luckily was able to kick it closer to second base, but that one brief moment cost him the chance of getting the double play, and then the next pitch, Cameron Warren hammers a hanging slider over the left field wall. So, I mean, that's one of those plays that I referred to about, I think it was a loss to Ole Miss, where they didn't commit any errors in that super regional game, but still had about 5 or 6 misplays on plays that you usually get an out or 2 outs, and you don't charge an error on those plays. And that was the case yesterday. So there's one run that shouldn't have been scored for Texas Tech. And then you can look to the 8th inning, and I thought it was an interesting decision here to not hold on the runner, Cameron Warren, in the 8th. So you got 2 outs, nobody on base. It's a tie game at this point. Warren draws a 3-2 pitch, a walk from Cody Scroggins, and takes first base. Now, Cameron Warren is like 6'3", 200. They list him at 240 pounds. I mean, this guy's cheeks weigh 20 pounds each on his face. He's got the biggest smile I've ever seen in my life. And so they don't hold him on base. With 2 outs, positioning Ezel behind the runner. And you're thinking, it's only because of this runner that you're not holding him on. Allows him to take a huge lead. And then on a 3-1 count, he is running on the pitch instead of being held on. They don't pick over to first base. He's running on the pitch, and Cody Masters triples off the right center field fence. It was like the only factors that could have brought Cameron Warren to score from first base on a base hit this year. I couldn't imagine he's done that very much this year. It was just all these forces coming together, and he scores without a throw home. So that was one thing. It's not me questioning, because I've seen Dave and Arkansas this year a lot of times. They have not held runners in close games when you're up by 2. But the fact that it was a tie score, to me, I wondered a little bit about that.
I was watching the post-game press conference at Planet Fitness yesterday, and Warren's response, he was telling himself, come on, big boy, get on home. So he was kind of like you're referencing, a big old dude, and it's just the biggest smile ever. And again, Arkansas fans are probably not exactly apt to want to watch this based on the fact that they lost, and it's a Texas Tech, but it was a funny little tidbit that came out of that press conference. Phil, I want to talk to you about what a lot of fans were criticizing. You mentioned that play. I think what most fans are pointing to is the 9th inning, and in fact, that's the majority. I have not seen anything really, probably 90-something%. That's what most fans have been critical of this morning and as of yesterday. So you get Franklin and Nesbitt. Nesbitt just gets clocked by a pitch. My goodness, that looked like it hurt from that dude that throws like 95+. And then Franklin gets on, and so you got a man on second, man on first, and correct me, 0 outs at that point. No outs, right?
No outs. That's
Okay.
right. You're down a run, so you got the go-ahead runs on.
Trevor Ezell comes to the plate, and he meets with Dave. He has a little powwow before he goes on at the on deck circle, and Dave decides, I'm going to let Trevor hit. I didn't have a problem with that. Some did, because Trevor, in the last, I can't remember the exact stat of how many games, but he's hitting like 400. He's hitting 300 plus on the season. He's been a guy several times that's come up with clutch hits, and he is a good bunter. That's kind of a characteristic of his game. He's a good bunter. But I didn't have a problem with DVH trying to not bunt Nesbitt and Franklin over and just gunning for it. Phil, did you have a problem with the initial first call to let Ezell hit on the 0 outs, man on first, man on second?
Not one bit. Not one bit. And the reason is because of the hitter at the plate at that moment. I think Trevor Ezell this year has been the most consistent hitter for this ball club. I mean, he came in batting .332 on the regular season. That's the second highest batting average on the year. And he'd been hitting .500 in the NCAA tournament. So I mean, this has been a guy all season long. Look, I'm looking at his season long numbers. These are numbers that Dave Van Horn is privy to as well. He's the leading hitter with runners on base for the team. .413 batting average, runners on base. He's the leading hitter with runners in scoring position. .417 with runners in scoring position. He's been the best hitter on the team this year. That's not the guy that you take the bat out of his hands to bunt for Casey Martin. And that's the other reason why. Is because then you're putting Casey Martin in the exact same situation he was in the day before, which it's been shown quite often in the postseason. Runner at third, 1 out. He's not going to get a fastball to hit. It's going to be breaking pitches. And he was unable to lay off of them. It would be the exact same situation as the day before. And I'm not saying he wouldn't get the base hit. The percentages would show that he wouldn't. And the percentages were in Trevor Ezell's favor at that moment. Hey, I understand. Go-ahead runs are on base, nobody out. It's a roll of the dice to let him hit, but that's your best hitter. That's the guy you don't bunt at that moment. So I thought it was the right decision by Dave. And hey, look, all of the managers out there that are listening, all of the other head coaches out there that are listening, just because it didn't work doesn't mean it wasn't the right decision.
And I think anytime a fan, this doesn't matter which coach it is, whether it's Boss, Morris, or Van Horn, you can always question a coach's decision. That doesn't mean your concerns and questioning is valid by any stretch of the means. But it's okay to, every once in a while, if you think something else, to be like, I wonder why he did that. And I thought Dave's explanation in the press conference and what he was quoted in, he was pretty strong. He's like, Trevor's been a good hitter. Casey struggled. Now, this is not the same Casey Martin we saw last year in Omaha when he had, 10 hits? I think.
He had a huge first round and then went quiet in the championship series. That's right.
So he was a monster for that kind of opening stretch before they got to Oregon State. This has not been the same guy, Phil. This is a guy, as you mentioned, that, and it's tough on him because he just wants to get on base. He wants to hit, but no one's going to throw him a fastball because they know if they do, it's going the other way and he's getting a hit. And he was just unable, even in that 1 out situation, to lay off the breaking ball, as you talked about. And I know he had hit a triple, and I believe he hit a double as well.
He hit a double off the center field fence, but it struck out in the other 2 at-bats, and it also struck out 4 out of 8 at-bats in the College World Series up to that point.
So for those arguing that he should have bunted Ezell over in that, you can point to that as well as the stats that you mentioned, that Ezell was hitting like 500 during the NCAA tournament, 400-something with runners in scoring position, and his slugging percentage. So the reasoning, I think, for Dave is there. And the fact is, Casey had 79 strikeouts this season. That's the most ever single-season record for Arkansas. Yeah. And you never want to think that a guy going into a situation like Casey Martin is going to fail. But, Phil, the stats point that Dave made the right decision yesterday. Casey, again, 79 strikeouts this year. Single-season record by 6 strikeouts compared to the last guy that did it. I mean, that's a pretty telling stat. Again, I know you don't want to underestimate and doubt Casey Martin's ability to bring the guys home, but Phil, it's the evidence. It's the what Dave's not dumb. There's a reason Dave's been to 5 College World. I mean, like at Arkansas, or 6, not 5.
Well, there are always reasons for why a coach or a manager in any sport makes a certain call. And you have legitimate reasons to question why the decision's made. I'm telling you why the decision was made, and there are legitimate reasons why. I think it was the right call. And if there were a couple of the other hitters up, if it's Casey Opitz with 2 on and there's the go-ahead runs, you're bunting. If it's Jacob Nesbitt, you're bunting. You are. If it's Christian Franklin, maybe you're bunting, maybe you're not. Now, I mean, Ezel did lead the team in sacrifice bunts, but he also, just the numbers I'm talking about, led the team with the so-called clutch hits, runners in scoring position. I mean, that's why that decision was made, and it didn't work out.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure Dave told him, if I remember the quote correctly, if they think you're going to bunt, then hit it, swing away. I'm pretty sure he had a design in play where if they're not playing you bunt, then bunt, and if they are, then swing away. And I'm pretty sure, I mean, he just did what the coach, I know he didn't come through with that pop fly, but he did what the coaches asked him to do. He just didn't execute.
So then, I mean, the Arkansas bullpen was definitely a strength for most of this year. But, and it is a big but, they struggled at times to hold tight games, to hold a tight lead, a 1-run lead. And I remember talking about this a couple of weeks ago. You're going to need to hold a 1-run lead at some point. And there's all of these runners left on base, the lack of the clutch hit, too many strikeouts. Yes, those are issues on the offensive side, but you still had the lead. And a bullpen has to be able to hold on to a 1-run lead at some point, especially when you get the kind of arms that are there. Now, Texas Tech has some good hitters, but, Jacob Kostichak and Cody Scroggins have legitimate big-time arms. Kevin Kopps, Kopps, I don't think pitched terribly, but a couple of pitches left up, and that really hurt the team. And Kopps, I think, will be coming back as an undrafted junior, and I think could serve a number of roles for them next year. But it's interesting to talk about a team that, for me, I know I've seen the word overachieved thrown around with this ball club, and maybe that's true, but I also see a lot of talent. I see a lot of talent on this ball club. I think sometimes we might feel like it overachieved because, you had a couple of freshmen in the starting rotation. You had so many position players to replace from last year, and every last one of them, all those replacements, answered the questions affirmatively. But this is a really talented club. It's not just some ragtag ball club that somehow found a way to get to Omaha.
It's not 2015.
Yeah,
it's a big difference.
This is a really good baseball team, but they didn't win a lot of close games. And this is one of the things that's a little odd to wrap your mind around. So Arkansas this year finishes with 46 wins. It's a lot of wins. 20 losses. In games decided by 1 run, and they lost 2 of them at the College World Series. In games decided by 1 run, Arkansas had a 5-8 record. So out of their 20 losses, 8 of them were by 1 run. That's almost 50% of the losses. And for a team that I'm not going to do the math in front of me right now, but whatever the winning percentage was, which is pretty good, it's like 2/3 of their games, more than 2/3 of their games they won. To finish under 500 in the 1-run games, the games where the smallest little mistake will cost you the game. They were 5-8. I think that says something about why they're not in Omaha any longer.
And maybe them coming back to, again, a lot of the core that's going to be back. You got Heston, Casey, your 2 starters, and Wick and Nolan. A lot of these guys will be back in it next year. Was good. Phil, you mentioned Kopps being an undrafted junior. I'm going through the roster right now. I don't have it by memory like you do. So Kinley's a junior, obviously drafted. He has the potential to come back, right?
I don't see him coming back.
You don't see him coming back?
No. I think he's going to get a decent bonus from the Tigers as a 7th-round pick. It's not a case of a senior being drafted in the 7th or 8th round, in which they're really just going to lowball him and offer him virtually no money. I think Kenley will get a decent signing bonus. I think he's gone.
So Fletch is obviously gone, being 75th overall. Campbell's gone 76th overall. I'm looking, again, I don't have this by memory, so I'm just kind of going through. Is there any other Cronin's gone. I can't remember where he went to the Nationals.
I don't think any of the drafted players are coming back, but I do think Kevin Kopps will be back. I think Kopps will be a huge part of next year's team, whether it's as a starter or as a reliever. And I think Jordan McFarland will come back as well. It's another undrafted junior, and you've been waiting for J-Mac to break out now for a couple of years. Maybe first base. I know first base could be open because Ezel is gone, but there are some JUCO players coming in. I mean, they're gonna look to replace that production at first base, and they're not just going to hand the job to Jordan McFarland, but I think he'll compete for it.
Was B. Knight a senior last year, or was he a redshirt junior?
No, Blaine was a junior who had been eligible for the draft as a sophomore.
That's what I thought, but I wasn't 100%. So he technically could have gone after his sophomore year, but elected to come back.
Right, that's the same with Isaiah Campbell. I mean, he had a redshirt year, and that's why he was eligible as a sophomore.
See, that's what I thought, but I wasn't 100% sure. So unless something changes, as you mentioned, all those guys are gone. But again, you still got Nolan and Wick coming back, who are probably going to be, unless something dramatic happens, your 1 and 2 guys. You got Martin, you got Kerstad, you got Franklin, who's, I think you told me earlier this year, is probably going to make the move to center field because of the departure of Dominique Fletcher.
Nesbitt and Opitz, 2 tremendous defensive players who I think have a lot of upside as hitters.
Yeah, and so you're losing a lot like you did last year. Like, to lose Blaine Knight and Isaiah Campbell back-to-back years is just devastating just for the fact that you're starters. And Dave talked about how that just doesn't happen, how you don't have 2 guys like that back-to-back years, and then they'll eventually go to the MLB and make their way there. But just... There's pieces to be had next year. You've talked about it a couple months ago that this team potentially, now you're not going to come out and say they're going to be better next year, but this team has the potential to be better next year. It's just going to be about developing the offseason, who comes in, who meshes, and then just as a run-of-the-mill team, what happens this next year.
We'll go to a break in a moment. The questions that I'm thinking about going into the next season is, who's your Friday night dude next year? I'm not quite sure. Connor Nolan, Patrick Wicklander might get an opportunity, but each of them will have to take a pretty legitimate step forward to become a frontline starting pitcher in the SEC. Also, you're replacing most of your bullpen. Your closer, Matt Cronin, setup guys in Kostichak and in Scroggins. So you're replacing a real big chunk of the bullpen. That'll also be a question next year, and I'm not quite sure who steps into those roles. We got a few months to worry about that. Hey, if you're facing a divorce, or if you're facing child custody issues, any issues involving DHS or criminal matters, angry spouses bringing false accusations, ugly custody battles, call the team at Kevin Hickey Law Partners. They're here to represent you throughout the entire process. If you're facing any of the types of legal matters I had just mentioned, Kevin Hickey Law is here to help with experienced, caring individuals that are ready to step in and aggressively represent your interests. Call Kevin Hickey Law Partners today in the River Valley, 479-434-2414. In Northwest Arkansas, it's 479-802-6560. Online also at kevinhickeylaw.com. Halftime continues on a Tuesday on ESPN Arkansas and hitthatline.com.
When in doubt, expense it. You're listening to Halftime. It's Southern Tire Mart Free Break Inspection Tuesday. This is the Morning Rush.
Sterling is incinerated. What's going on, Sterling?
You do not bunt Ezel for Martin in this situation right here. No way in hell. Dumb talk. Come on, people. Just watch the freaking game. Don't just start picking up the game when the weather gets warm. I'm a freaking fanatic. I don't say nothing stupid like that. Don't be putting down fanatic crap.
Don't miss the Morning Rush. Weekdays from 6 till 9. Only on ESPN 95.3.
Invest in your family this summer with a Doughboy above-ground pool from Burton Pools and Spas. Hi, Tommy Kraft here for Burton's. There's no better way to spend your summer than with a family in your own backyard. A Doughboy above-ground pool can make that fast, easy, and most importantly, affordable for this summer. Right now, save up to $800 off on select Doughboy above-ground pool packages. Everything you need to start enjoying this summer in your own backyard with a Doughboy above-ground pool. Doughboy above ground pools are the highest quality above ground pools on the market. And with these special discounts, payments start as low as $65 a month with your approved credit. And with the great staff at Burton Pools and Spas, you can count on a quality installation to make your backyard even more fun this summer. Check out Burton Pools and Spas online at burtonpools.com or find them on Instagram and Facebook. Burton Pools and Spas, 6121 0 Street in Fort Smith and just off I-49 at the 412 exit in Springdale. Burton Pools and Spas, your source for backyard fun.
If you needed major surgery, you probably wouldn't choose a doctor who's never been to medical school. So when your car needs major repairs after a collision, why would you take your car to a body shop that's never been trained? Evans Body Shop is among only 10% of collision repair businesses to meet the industry's highest training standards as a gold class shop. We know the latest repair techniques, how to find hidden damage, and how to repair your car's critical safety features so they work properly again. With the safety of your vehicle and your family at stake, choose trained repair professionals. Choose Evans Body Shop,
where we meet the nicest people by accident.
Bush Machine and Tractor at 7301 0 Street in Fort Smith is your one-stop shop for tractors, lawnmowers, and implements. Choose from Massey Ferguson, Branson, and TYM tractors. Implements from Woods, Battle Armor, and Modern Ag. Find a Gravely commercial mower and get the job done mile after mile and season after season. Bush Machine and Tractor is your #1 Branson dealer in Arkansas and works on all brands of tractors and mowers. Come see us or check out all our inventory at bushtractor.com.
Whitson Morgan Motor Company in Clarksville has up to $11,000 off select Ford F-150 pickups. Get 0% up to 72 months on select models. Whitson Morgan offers free home delivery within 250 miles of Clarksville. That is just one of the many fantastic deals you'll find at Whitson Morgan Motor Company. Whitson Morgan Motor Company has always served the River Valley with the best deals. A company that customers appreciate, making buying easy. Whitson Morgan, exit 58 off I-40 in Clarksville.
Adams & Son Roofing and Construction is here to assist in the rebuilding of our community during this historical time in the River Valley and surrounding areas. Adams & Son Roofing and Construction does quality workmanship from complete roofing, siding, gutters, inside your home remodeling, plus all your construction needs. Give them a call today for a free estimate. 479-434-4455. Adams & Son Roofing and Construction, licensed, insured, and bonded. Check us on the web at adamsroofingandconstruction.com. Adams & Son Roofing and Construction, here for our community.
On July 1st, AOG will launch many exciting improvements to serve you better. AOG is redesigning your natural gas bill, replacing our customer information system, and updating our website, customer account portal, and online payment processor, so you'll have access to real-time data, payment options, and account history, all from the convenience of your computer or mobile device. Because of these upgrades, your AOG account number will change on your July bills. For details, visit AOGC.com.
This next segment on Halftime is brought to you by the Kevin Hickey Law Firm, the #1 resource for your child advocacy needs. You're listening to Halftime with Phil Elson and Tye Richardson.
Nesbitt hits a high fly ball to deep left center. That one is way back, and that ball is out of here. Jacob Nesbitt hits a 3-run homer to cap off the 6th inning.
Hey, don't forget it, for over 80 years, Rhodes Chevrolet has been a name that you can trust. Rhodes has always been dependable in the car buying and car owning experience. From the first time you walk into their showroom, you'll be treated like family. That's part of the family-owned dealership and service department that has served the River Valley for over 8 decades. Find your next dependable vehicle today at Rhodes Chevrolet, 2800 Alma Highway in Van Buren, or RhodesChevy.com. Rhodes Chevrolet, dependable since 1934. Well, we'd seen a lot of Arkansas baseball careers come to an end yesterday in the College World Series, and a professional football career has also come to an end, as former Razorback Drew Morgan announced on Twitter that he is retiring from the game of football. And I know that's it feels like it'll be a little difficult for us to take sometimes, because you just had to appreciate the way that Drew played the game. I mean, to be a walk-on at Arkansas, work your way to a scholarship, go undrafted, end up fighting your way onto a spot briefly with Miami, then on the practice squad. And I think we were all sort of just hoping against hope that there'd be some way for Drew to get into a regular season game with a team at some point. Just not quite meant to be. So the last game he played was with the AAF team in Memphis, right?
Yeah, the Express. And for Arkansas fans, he is kind of the symbol and the embodiment of what Arkansas fans look to themselves as when it comes to athletes. Blue collar, works hard, not the most talented, but just works his tail off. And he's a pretty stinking good wide receiver when he was at the U of A. Think about AP all-second team SEC his junior year. He could mix it up with the best of them, and I know that he didn't exactly jump off the page or jump off the scouting report, or when you were lined up against him, it wasn't the most ferocious guy, but he could get open, and he was a pretty vital target during the Brett Bielema era here at Arkansas.
So was it a couple of years with the Dolphins practice squad, or just the one?
I think it was just the one, the 2017, where he just got wet. Nah, don't hold me to that 100%, but I think that's what I read. That was just that one time. And then he kind of tried the AAF route, and then, yeah, but I mean, I think he might have, I don't know 100%. I can't tell you that 100%.
Drew also went on to announce that he's got his next job lined up. He's going to be working with Equipment Share in Springdale, helping contractors and construction companies work efficiently and save money. So it's good to know. I mean, you got that job lined up. You know, you've got it sounds like a pretty good job too, and can head back up to Northwest Arkansas and watch Grant play for the next couple of years.
Yeah, you think about it in sales in any division. As a former, I don't know if he's working in sales or not, but as a former football player, it's kind of like Tyler down in Little Rock doing real estate. Hey, this is Tyler Wilson. You want to look at this house? Yes, please. It helps to be a former Razorback when you're trying to sell Razorback fans something.
It always will. It's funny, too, because they'll say, like, well, he'll never have to buy a drink, in Fayetteville or in Little Rock or whatnot. It's just like, well, maybe he's not looking to get a free drink. Maybe he's trying to sell you something using that name. I think Carson Shaddy also got involved in sales, up in Fayetteville. So you got to be able to you got to have that kind of personality to make it work too. The name goes only so far, and then you actually have to do some selling at some point.
That's how you finesse free barbecue, right? Isn't that how that worked?
Well, I finesse free barbecue just out of people looking at me and they feel pity. That's different. It's different when you're feeling pity than when you're like, oh, I like this guy. People just feel pity about me when it comes to getting me some free food. And, oh, by the way, being a media member, they just kind of throw free food at you anyway. All right, we'll step aside for a break. We're going to talk with Nikki Chavanel from Rivals.com. That's next on ESPN Arkansas and HitThatLine.com.
Good coaches win. Great coaches cover. This is Halftime.
At Michelob Ultra, we know it's not just about how much you work out every day. It's about how much you work into every day, too. So we brew our beer for those who realize that expending calories should never come at the expense of spending time with friends. Those who understand that just because you work out doesn't mean you can't go out. And that's why we brew Michelob Ultra to have 95 calories, 2.6 carbs, and a crisp, clean taste. Michelob Ultra, brewed for those who live fit, live fun, live Ultra. Enjoy responsibly. 2018 Michelob Ultra Light Beer, Anheuser-Busch, St. Louis, Missouri. 95 calories, 2.6 carbs, 0.6 grams of protein, and 0 grams fat for 12 ounces.
Do you love crab legs? Like you could eat your weight in crab legs? Kind of love them? Then get to the Catfish Kitchen in Van Buren every Tuesday night for all you can eat crab legs from 4 till 8. All the meaty, delicious crab legs you can hold. Plus all the fixins like coleslaw, beans, and the best hush puppies. Plus your drink, dessert, and ice cream are all included. It's only $44.95. That's all you can eat crab legs every Tuesday night from 4 till 8 at Catfish Kitchen, 727 Fayetteville Road at the top of Logtown Hill, across from the police station in Van Buren.
The law offices of Andrea Stone Hanna, PLLC, are proud supporters of the Arkansas Razorbacks. Call them today before your soon-to-be ex does. Andrea Stone Hanna and David L. Powell promise to do whatever they can to assist and support you, your family, and your business when you face the toughest legal challenges you could possibly encounter. For divorce, custody, and all family law or criminal matters, call Andrea or David today at 479-242-5874 and request a consultation. Contact them today at AndreaHannahLaw.com or call 479-242-5874.
Hi, I'm Kelly Smith, owner of Dixie Digital Imaging, the Xerox authorized agency and dealer in the River Valley. The 29 new models of Xerox business printers and copiers represent a quantum leap forward in office technology. They are designed for the way we work today, safely and securely. They're powered by Xerox Connect Key technology. They're innovative and affordable with both black and white and color devices available. For more information, give Dixie Digital a call at 783-6600 or visit us at dixiedigital.com. Dixie Digital Imaging, bringing Xerox document innovations to the River Valley.
Edwards Auto Center in Roland has a newly remodeled facility with a greater selection of vehicles, and you will enjoy a relaxed, no-pressure sales experience. If your credit score has been an issue, Edwards' signature Buy Here, Pay Here program is a part of their superior customer service. Some restrictions may apply. Edwards has helped folks achieve their dreams of auto ownership and providing quality used vehicles for more than 30 years. Visit the newly remodeled Edwards Auto Center 3 miles west of the Garrison Bridge. The first car dealer on the right, or log on at edwardsautosalesinc.com.
At Frankfurt Furniture, we believe in supporting our country, and we want to invite you to shop our Made in the USA brands, like Jackson, Catnapper, Best Home Furnishings, Medlift, and Union Furniture made right here in Fort Smith, Arkansas. Check out our Justice mattresses and our Kingdom mattresses, also made in Fort Smith, Arkansas. 100% made in the USA Speed Clean washers and dryers. We have them. Tell us you heard this commercial and receive free delivery. Frankfurt Furniture, best seats in the house. Your Made in the USA headquarters.
Exclusive coverage from the College World Series on Halftime is brought to you by Randall Ford, Razorback Camper Sales, and by your Arkansas Scholarship Lottery. You're listening to Halftime with Phil Elson and Tye Richardson.
Fletcher with a drive to right field. Wow, look at that one go. That is way out of here. Over the bullpen fence. Dominic Fletcher with a moonshot through the wind. Back on ESPN Arkansas, hitthatline.com. It's a Tuesday. It's our third segment. That can mean just one thing. Nikki Chavanel joining us here from Rivals.com, covering Arkansas athletics. Nikki, always a pleasure. How you doing? You're probably feeling a little better than I am right now.
Yeah, I'm feeling good. I'm sure you're referring to the game the other day. I feel like they did a lot better than a lot of people expected, so I'm still pretty satisfied, and I had fun watching them, for the second half of the season at least, is when I probably started really paying attention.
Well, they took us on quite a ride. They really did, and you got to appreciate that when it happens. It's just, the day after is you start to have a little bit more of that longer perspective. And now it's funny. So there's, talk show hosts across the state might be a little bit nervous on what the heck are we talking about for the next few months. But there's a lot of recruiting going on, and so you're hard at work. And so you'd written a column about 3 possible defensive prospects that are looking at Arkansas that you think may end up committing to Arkansas. And I want to talk about those. I want to talk about Vernon Broughton first, the 6'6" defensive end out of Houston, and it looks his sister's being recruited too by Mike Neighbors. How about that?
Yeah, she's a 2021 basketball prospect. So they're out of Houston, one of the Cypress schools. Vernon was here for his official visit a couple weekends ago, and things went really, really well, like better than anybody could have expected, given that he has Texas coming after him very, very hard. But having Coach Neighbors recruit his sister a little bit has definitely helped their case, because his mother is very into family, and obviously Coach Morris showed him that kind of aspect, but then having his sister being recruited as well means that she could be sending 2 of her kids off to Arkansas, and I'm not sure that she'd have that opportunity with the other schools that are recruiting him. He just finished up an official to Ohio State, so we'll see how that went. I don't think it really blew him away. So right now I'm having him leaning between Texas and Arkansas mainly.
Okay, so Blaine Toll, a lot of people talking about Blaine Toll from Hazen, the Giant. He's got one more official visit before he says he's going to make a decision. You still think he'll end up as a Razorback?
So he's going to Tennessee, and I believe they're one of the schools that offered him before Arkansas did. Arkansas didn't really know what position he would be playing at the next level, but they've seen him at camp playing both tight end and defensive end, and he has the size to grow into defensive tackle. Or some people have been throwing out that maybe they should bulk him up and put him at offensive tackle, because his frame is just amazing, and you could add so much more weight on him. But I'm not sure if he's played much offensive tackle ever, because he plays quarterback for Hazen. So we'll see what happens there. But, yeah, I have him leaning towards Arkansas right now. Coming off the official visit, I feel like everyone was able to convince him that it's a better idea to stay home.
Talking with Nikki Chavanel, Rivals.com, every Tuesday here on Halftime. Nikki, we haven't gotten a chance to speak to you since Chandler Morris committed to Arkansas. Just from you talking with him, with you talking with the coaches, did you ever think that there was any doubt that Chandler Morris wouldn't end up a Razorback?
I didn't personally, because I could kind of see what was happening with the other recruits as well, and how much they were talking to them and everything, and they weren't going to leave themselves in a position where they were going to miss out on someone else because they were waiting on him to decide. So I knew that they were pretty sure that he wanted to come to Arkansas, and I don't think they would have just approached this whole situation this way if they weren't planning to take him when they offered him. But if he adds some more weight, I think he's going to be a very successful quarterback. Who knows what the situation will be depth-wise once he gets here, but definitely a guy who has the potential to play, I think, even more so than John Stephen Jones from last year's class.
Yeah, it's kind of funny since they both played at Highland Park, John Stephen being the quarterback prior to Chandler taking it over. The basketball commit. So you got the big one in football. That's what everyone was concerned about, Razorback fans was with football. Basketball-wise, Kerry Blackshear has been kind of the big guy that everyone's been wanting to know about. I saw a report from Chris Dortch of the Blue Ribbon that said he's narrowed it down to 3 schools, and Arkansas is not one of them. I know you have Jake Weingarten working for you guys at Rivals. Is Arkansas no longer in the running for Kerry Blackshear?
I actually haven't seen that yet, but I wouldn't be surprised. I think that with him visiting Kentucky, and where was he just at? I want to say he was at Tennessee or something. I just don't think he's going to pick Arkansas because, first of all, they don't even have a spot for him as their roster stands. So that's one issue. And then Kentucky's making him a huge priority. So I kind of expect him to end up there.
Nikki, tell me about John Gentry, who's also committed. Was it the same day that Chandler Morris did? Obviously, he'd be overshadowed by the head coach's son, but 3-star prospect, running back. What do you know about John Gentry?
I don't think that he minded committing before Chandler Morris did. He was very excited to do it once he left his official visit. He got on the plane back to Houston and then released his commitment right after he landed. He was so excited. But he's 5'11", almost 195, so he looks the part already. You could throw him in an Arkansas uniform, and he matches all the other guys on the roster already. He's like a long strider, but he runs a 4.56, so pretty respectable speed. He's a triple threat kind of guy. He's got good hands as well. He plays behind a very good offensive line at North Shore High School, and he plays with the number 1 running back in the nation. So he's used to competing often against him, and I think he's a great prospect. He didn't have any other SEC offers, but I think that would have come in time. I'm not sure if they will offer now that he's already committed, but a great prospect.
Nikki Chavanel joining us here on Halftime every Tuesday or right around this time of the day. So what's on the calendar now over the next few weeks for Arkansas football? The players are already starting to report, I guess. And I mean, how many days is it now, Tye, until game 1? I mean, we're within 74. So that's got to be about 50 some days until the start of camp. So I mean, that countdown is gonna happen pretty quickly.
Yeah, the coaches are taking a little vacation right now. The players are here, though, and they're working out. They'll have a big barbecue to kick off fall camp, and they'll have a bunch of prospects back for that date, and I expect at least 1 or 2 commitments out of that. It was really big for them last year, so I know they'll want to, time out some announcements for that weekend. But, yeah, not a ton going on, but I'll try to catch up with all the prospects that have been here over the spring and see where they're at and see what other visits they've been taking and are planning to take for next season.
Talking with Nikki Chavanel, Rivals.com, every Tuesday here on Halftime. Nikki, I thought Phil and I's discussion for much of this summer and then in fall was going to be discussing whether Chandler Morris was going to pick Arkansas or not. Well, he has at this point. He hasn't signed, but he's picked them. I think one of the biggest storylines now that baseball season is over, after the season he had, is what Connor Nolan is going to do. Now, I could see him just playing football and doing this thing another year, possibly another 2. But I'm kind of curious, Nikki, after what you saw him on the mound this season comparatively to the game at quarterback, and it looks like a lot more depth's going to be there with the addition of Chandler Morris, KJ Jefferson, and Morris would be next year, but KJ Jefferson, Ben Hicks, Nick Starkel, do you anticipate him making a future decision this summer about what he's going to do at Arkansas?
Running the message boards, we have a lot of people post stuff that they think they know or that they've heard, and I've heard obviously that he isn't going to play football anymore, but I don't know how much truth there is to that. He's a really competitive guy. I think he would want to try football out at least one more year, just to see if maybe he can emerge as a guy. He didn't get to participate very much in spring football, so there's no telling where he is in relation to Ben Hicks at least. But I think he would still be a good third string for them. So I hope he sticks it out because I still think they need the depth right now.
And here's the factor that I would probably point to, and we can close on this, is the fact, Nikki, that he could potentially be the Friday night guy. He's going to be battling out Patrick Wicklander for that one spot on Friday night. So I wonder how much that plays into the decision of him choosing either one or the other or playing both.
Yeah, I mean, he was able to do what he did in baseball this year without having to sacrifice anything football-wise, during the season. So he managed to do both commendably well, and I would see him sticking it out for one more.
Yeah, I think it would be really interesting because how do you improve at quarterback unless you are playing the position? It's the same idea as being a pitcher that's throwing bullpens and getting better on practice, but until you're facing live hitting in games, I don't know how much better you can actually get. There's more opportunity as a pitcher than there is as a quarterback. It's just a fact.
Yeah, for sure. And who knows how much more game experience he would get next year for football. And he'd already be behind, Hicks and Starkel probably in the playbook a little bit. It's going to be interesting for sure. I don't think he can go wrong either way, is the thing. I think he'll still be successful in baseball if he chooses to stay with football one more year or longer. And then I think he'll be great, in baseball if he decides to quit football. So it's a win-win for him, really.
All right, Nikki, well, the summer really starts now. Now the campus is virtually empty, and there's no more baseball games being played at Baum-Walker Stadium. And I guess we can have a little fun during the quiet before the storm. So we'll look forward to talking about it again next week.
Awesome. Thanks, guys.
You got it. Nikki Chavanel joining us every Tuesday from Rivals.com. We'll come back after a break, wrap up the first hour of halftime. It's ESPN Arkansas and HitThatLine.com.
You're listening to Halftime. It's Southern Tire Mart Free Break Inspection Tuesday.
Massey Ferguson tractors have arrived at Bush Machine & Tractor. Bush Machine & Tractor is proud to be the newest Massey Ferguson dealer in western Arkansas, providing you with a full lineup of versatile Massey Ferguson tractors. They're built with straightforward power, smart fuel economy, and upgraded control and comfort. Stop by and find a new Massey Ferguson perfectly sized to fit your property or farm at Bush Machine & Tractor, 7301 South 0 Street in Fort Smith, or visit us online at bushtractor.com.
Right now at Randall Ford, sales tax paid. You heard right. Sales tax paid on all new and used vehicles in stock. Sales tax paid. Plus, we want your trade. Randall Ford is paying top dollar for your trade with a huge selection of cars, trucks, and SUVs. Why buy anywhere else? Stop in today. Sales tax paid and top dollar for your trade. Randall Ford, 5500 Rogers, or online at randallford.com. Fourth oldest Ford dealer in America with approved credit. See dealer for details.
Did someone say, I'm hungry? Visit 906 Cocktail and Cigar Lounge on the Avenue. Try the new panini sandwiches like the Chicken Pyro or the Cubana or the signature 906 wings. Jumbo wings roasted with honey bacon jam. Want some spice? Try the black and blue wings. Experience their salads, flatbreads, coffees and desserts, top shelf wines and liquors, premium beers, world-class cigars, all in an atmosphere that feels less like a lounge and more like a destination. Sample, indulge, escape. 906 Cocktail and Cigar Lounge. Treat your appetite on the Avenue.
Art's Barbecue and Burgers has the best burger in town. And every Saturday, enjoy any burger at Art's and get $1 off. Try Art's Bacon Cheeseburger, topped with house smoked bacon, or the Art Attack with bacon, ham, and a fried egg. And all of Art's burgers come with a mound of fresh cut fries, or upgrade to Art's homemade onion rings. $1 off all burgers every Saturday at Art's Barbecue and Burgers, 8203 Rogers Avenue, next to Aaron's in Fort Smith.
Tired of all the broken promises and broken equipment at your current gym? The Fort Smith Athletic Club is the nicest and most well-equipped fitness and tennis club in the area, with a state-of-the-art fitness center, Pilates, fitness classes, personal and group training, and the best tennis facilities in the region. 7 outdoor courts, 5 indoor courts, plus pickleball and racquetball courts, and free child care is included. The Fort Smith Athletic Club. Call 452-4031 for membership information.
Are your real estate investments being properly managed? Are you sending a check or cashing a check each month? If you're tired of your current property managers, then call Trinity Multifamily. Trinity will qualify your tenants and leases, inspect your properties, and take care of maintenance and provide you with web-based access to current financial reports, leases, and pictures of your property. Call Trinity Multifamily at 479-452-1817 or online at trinitymultifamily.com. Trinity Multifamily, your teammate in the real estate game.
Where can you get an oil change for just $24.95? Southern Tire Mart in Fort Smith. Where can you get America's favorite brands like Michelin and BF Goodrich? Southern Tire Mart. Where can you find great savings and best-in-class service? You got it. Southern Tire Mart. North America's #1 commercial tire dealer wants to be your family's #1 tire store. We're trying hard with great savings on Michelin and BF Goodrich tires and best-in-class service. Just off I-540 exit 14. Come see us for all your tire and service needs. See dealer for details.
Cofer's Boat Center, your authorized Mercury dealer, has been helping our customers create a lifetime of family memories for over 45 years. Cofer's carries the brands you trust like low aluminum fishing boats, low pontoons, and Bayliner powered by Mercury. Fish the finest in Triton Tournament bass boats to fit every budget. Or come check out the best-selling towboats in the industry from Malibu and Axis, ready to create the best wakes and surf waves you've ever experienced. Stop by and see all the options available for your family's time on the water at Cofer's, or visit our website at cofers.com.
This next segment on Halftime is brought to you by the Kevin Hickey Law Firm, the #1 resource for your child advocacy needs. You're listening to Halftime with Phil Elson and Tye Richardson.
3-2 pitch. Davis, a swing and a miss. He struck him out, and the Razorbacks win it by a final of 14-12. What a comeback here in Vanderbilt.
One of the signature wins of the Arkansas baseball season, the 5-run 9th inning at Vanderbilt to salvage the last game against the potential national champions. We want to thank our sponsors for our College World Series coverage all throughout the week: Randall Ford, Razorback Camper Sales, and Arkansas Scholarship Lottery. All right. I want to watch this game tonight. I want to watch this Mississippi State Vanderbilt game. It's going to be awesome. Two great baseball teams, both 1-0. Either one of them could lose and still come back and win on that side of the bracket. The winner of that bracket should win the whole thing. They are that much better than the rest of the teams. Vanderbilt's a complete team. Mississippi State's a complete team. You know who I'm going to pull for? I'm going to pull for Mississippi State because I don't want the Whistler to get any joy whatsoever.
Or the cowbells. Well, that's a tough dilemma there because you got the cowbells on one side and the Whistler on the other.
The cowbells are at least a community thing that's been a tradition throughout their sports history. And as goofy as it might be, hey, they all do it. It's not the one guy who's making it seem like I'm just supporting my team, where he's just saying, hey, everybody, look at me and my disgusting gray mullet.
So, Phil, I got a question. Baseball season is technically over now for the Razorbacks. When should I switch out the rejoins for football? I'm going to let you decide this.
Wow. I don't know, man. That's a tough one.
I know.
That's a tough one. Maybe we should just do a whole bunch of pop culture opens and closes.
It is the summer.
It's pop culture season. That's what it is now.
That's a good idea. You know what? I'll do rejoins with just like funny movies and liners and stuff. So that's
Can we just make sure we don't do any shows about, our favorite pizza or what your favorite grilled cheese is and all that?
Nothing wrong with pizza shows.
We'll work on it. All right. We'll also work on the second hour after a break on ESPN Arkansas and hitthatline.com.
When you think about the Arkansas Scholarship Lottery, you think about winning. And with more than 500,000 life-changing scholarships awarded so far, you can think about winners like Cole, who won the chance to study psychology at the University of Arkansas, or Miriam, who won an education from Arkansas Tech, or Rafa, who won a scholarship to UA Fort Smith, the first in her family to go to college. Apply for your scholarship now at scholarships.adhe.edu. This is winning.
Kofer's Boat Center, your authorized Mercury dealer, has been helping our customers create a lifetime of family memories for over 45 years. Kofer's carries the brands you trust like low aluminum fishing boats, low pontoons, and Bayliner powered by Mercury. Fish the finest in Triton tournament bass boats to fit every budget. Or come check out the best-selling towboats in the industry from Malibu and Axis, ready to create the best wakes and surf waves you've ever experienced. Stop by and see all the options available for your family's time on the water at Kofer's, or visit our website at kofers.com.
It's back, it's way back. Hello, this is Jack Dean with Road Chevy in Van Buren. Come in and hit a home run with these savings. Take home a new 2019 Silverado for as low as $29,988, or a new 2019 Chevy Trax with payments starting as low as $299 a month, or save up to $12,000 on a new 2018 Z701 Crew Cab while supplies last. Take a short drive and we'll go the extra mile for you. Road Chevrolet, exit 2A of 5540 in Van Buren. Find new road.
With approved credit, see dealer for details.
Hi, I'm Doug Johnson. My mom and dad founded Razorback Camper Sales 50 years ago. It all started back in 1969 on the corner of St. Louis and Airport Road in Hot Springs. Spending time with family and helping our customers make lasting memories is what we've been doing for the last half century. Isn't that right, Mac?
That's right, Papa!
From all of us at Razorback Camper Sales, thank you for the last 50 years.
What happened to paying one price and getting everything included? You buy an airline ticket and pay extra to bring a change of clothes, book a hotel room, and you're shelling out for Wi-Fi and overpriced bottled water. Shipping and handling. Really? Imagine my delight when I found out roadside assistance is now included with my shelter insurance auto policy. So if I get a flat tire or need a jump, I just call and they take care of me. No additional cost. Some restrictions apply, so learn more at shelterinsurance.com.
Call me, Wade Gilkey, in Fort Smith.
Or call me, Jim Malum, in Charleston.
ESPN Arkansas weather.
Cloudy skies, chance of showers and scattered storms tonight. An overnight low will drop down to near 65. Partly sunny start with showers and scattered storms on Tuesday. Our high in the mid-80s. Later Tuesday night, scattered showers and thunderstorms continuing. Upper 60s and widespread showers and storms midweek. I'm Sally Russell with your forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
Weather is brought to you by Mosquito Joe. Don't let mosquitoes ruin your outside fun this year. Call Mosquito Joe at 479-202-9960 to keep your yard mosquito-free, or visit arkansas.mosquitojoe.com.
I hate everything you just said. KERX Paris Fort Smith. This is Halftime, coming at you from the Bush and Bushlight Studios on ESPN 95.3.
They're hilarious.
Good morning, Vietnam!
Broadcasting live from the Bud Light Studio.
I love Arkansas. I love everything here. Give me that thing here. Woo!
On your favorite Arkansas sports talk station.
Why did that happen in Fayetteville, Arkansas?
Dixon Street. It'll get you.
Streaming live from
hitthatline.com. You want answers. I want the truth. You can't handle the truth.
This is Halftime with Phil Elson and Tye Richardson. Exclusive coverage from Omaha on Halftime is brought to you by Razorback Camper Sales. Exit 1 off the bypass in Hot Springs, and RazorbackCamperSales.com. And Randall Ford, 5500 Rogers Avenue in Fort Smith, the 4th oldest dealer in the U.S. And by your Arkansas Scholarship Lottery.
It's almost halftime.
Halftime rolling along on a beautiful Tuesday up here in northwest Arkansas at the Regional Jet Center, just next to XNA Airport. The Arkansas Razorback college baseball season comes to an end, going 0-2 in the College World Series. That is the third time that it's happened for Arkansas under Dave Van Horn, 2004, 2015, now 2019. But the second year in a row they make it, which really, you know what that does? That puts expectations on next year's team, whether they are legitimate expectations or not. But those are expectations you want a program to have year in, year out. I think you want to look at a season as being at least semi-disappointing if you don't make it to Omaha. But this season isn't, because they did. All right, it is a Tuesday. We got some things we're going to get off the lawn.
If this would work.
And the first thing that I'll get off the lawn is the open.
Get off my lawn now.
I clicked it twice.
Perhaps I could be of some assistance.
You're on Facebook, huh?
Well, I've been trying to figure it out. I joined about 10 minutes ago.
Well, better late than never.
Get off my lawn.
Well, that's a bummer to start, Phil.
That's okay. It worked eventually. Just keep banging your finger onto that thing, and sooner or later it'll start.
I mean, Phil literally saw me just pressing away on the computer. So stuff happens sometimes.
So I've been spending a lot of time at hotels in the last 8 months. As our listeners probably are well aware. I mean, I've been doing shows from hotels week after week. And hotels are great. I love hotels. Got free coffee. You got all great breakfasts. You've got people to make your room up for you. They'll even bring you an extra bar of soap if you ask for it. Maybe some free water. I mean, it's a really nice way to live. And then there are sometimes at hotels and in various cities, you have youth baseball tournaments or youth basketball tournaments or youth soccer tournaments, or just a lot of youths that are inside the hotels. And let me tell you something. The worst thing in a hotel is a roaming pack of kids. I like kids. I got nothing against kids. I have 2 of my own. And I like entertaining kids. I like talking baseball with kids. I don't like riding elevators with 12 different kids, all aged from about 10 to 13. And all they're trying to do is hold on to their laughter as much as they possibly can. And I have no clue what it is that they're laughing about. Kids that are unsupervised at hotels are like the bane of my existence. And I remember what it was like to be those kids. And do you remember, Ted, you ever go to a hotel when you were a kid? You're a kid now. And my dad yesterday on the phone tells me I'm a kid because I'm 42 and he's 70, all right? So it's all relative. Did you ever go to a hotel with a bunch of your friends? And do you remember the feeling that you had from that? I mean, you kind of felt free, like you can go roam and you can cause problems and trouble and you won't get into trouble.
Yeah, we were little you-know-whats. That's the best way I can describe it. And if you don't know what word I'm not putting in the radio right now, then I don't know where to help you there.
It was funny. The other day on Friday, I did the show from the executive meeting center at the 19th floor at our Doubletree Hotel in Omaha. I had this great look at the view of the ballpark. I mean, it was like I felt like I was some corporate suit in downtown Omaha for like Mutual of Omaha, somebody that actually makes really important decisions that make or lose millions of dollars for people. But on the ride up to the in the elevator, I had those 12 kids around me. They want to go up to that floor too. What are you doing up there? I asked. We just want to explore. I said, well, do me a favor. Just stay out of the room that I'm in, all right? Kids roaming in packs that are pressing every button on the elevator, that are stepping on people's toes. Hey, be a kid. I get it. But you know what? At the same time, if you're in this hotel and you're with other kids and you're unsupervised, get off my lawn and get out of my elevator.
This might be the most iconic get off my lawn moment that has come from Phil Elson. This is the changing of the guard, if you will, from when Phil was fun as a kid and used to be that kid roaming the elevator, roaming the hotels.
Is this the official fuddy-duddy moment? This is when I've actually transformed into a duddy that is fuddy?
Yeah, I think you've lost your coolness factor, the cool dad, the cool old man factor as of this moment. It's kind of a iconic moment in show history.
So you're telling, it sounds like you feel like I've jumped some sort of a shark.
Yeah,
it's all downhill from here.
It's all downhill from here, man. I'm just going to get moaning and crying Phil the rest of the way here on out. So
well, isn't that what this segment's all about? We're supposed to complain about something.
Yeah, but you usually complain about
non-kid things.
Non-old man stuff. This is your first old man complaint that I think you've had in quite some time. So
you darn kids and your fingers. You can't keep them off the buttons.
So I used to play classic soccer, travel soccer, similar to travel baseball, who I'm sure many of the parents listening have had to experience that, either playing it or their kids doing it. And that is the exact same situation that I used to be in as a kid, with all your friends in we went to Memphis, Tupelo, we went all over. And that same scenario that you referenced to this weekend is the exact same thing that I used to do about 15 years ago. So it's not too far from me, but that's
these kids, they go into the workout center, they throw the weights all over the place, they go into the restaurant, they're squeezing ketchup and mustard on the walls, they're putting syrup in their hair. I mean, come on now. Let's watch these kids a little. Let's lock them in the bathroom, for crying out loud.
It's like when that guy on WEII referred to Tom Brady's little kid as I'm not going to say it, but you know what I'm referring to. So that's basically what Phil was having to deal with this weekend. All right, Tommy mentioned this morning. I don't think he talked about it, so I'm going to go in references. You know that job I mentioned a couple months back with, I believe it was Royal Caribbean, how you got paid to be their social media poster and go on different cruises.
I also remember another job that you've pointed out recently about a natural light drinking intern.
Yeah, that would
which is right down your alley.
Both of those would just be
not just an alley; it's like right down your interstate.
Yeah, and again, I'm very proud of Phil Elson this weekend. Had a natter day with John Neighbors, enjoyed it. So that was probably the peak of the show this week.
By the way, I forgot to show you. I got something for you.
You give me a koozie?
I got you a Pelican koozie.
Perfect. I can't wait.
A flamingo koozie. That's what it is.
When you come up to the fort for our degenerative weekend, bring it up there. Bring it up here. So Reynolds Wrap, Phil, is looking for a chief grilling officer to help find the best barbecue in America.
This is the most dad job of all time.
And the get off my lawn moment is anyone who wouldn't be interested in this job. Because not only do they pay you $10,000 for approximately 2 weeks, they also pick up your tab for travel, accommodations, food. You're going to, now these cities aren't exactly jump off the page cities, but they're my kind of cities. They're southern cities with good food. Louisville, Chicago, Austin, St. Louis, Charleston, and Memphis. Those are
what world is Chicago a southern city?
That's not a southern city, but it's a good food city. So that,
okay, I'll give you that.
That reaches into there. And Phil, you can bring a friend on this trip. So I'd have a serious dilemma if I was offered either the Natty Light internship or this one, because as much as I love Natter Days and Natural Light, I love food slightly more because I eat more than I drink. Obviously, I only drink like once a week. So I think I would probably take, if offered both of these jobs, I'd probably take the Reynolds Wrap job. And I'd bring you with me. We try to convince Tommy if we could do the show on the road with them for 2 straight weeks. Which,
don't you think these things go together? You know, the drinking intern with the chief grilling officer. They ought to work together. I mean, but one is a suit. You know, the CGO. That's an executive right there. The intern, that's just low level. That's the bottom of your shoe.
I'd take either job, honestly. Either would be great. And I say that tongue in cheek because I'm very happy here. But those jobs, man, they just eat or drink and just chill and relax. That would be a good time, you know?
Well, I still want my next job. I would like to be the driver of the Oscar Mayer Wienermobile. You've seen this vehicle? Have you seen this thing?
Yeah, not ever in person.
This lengthy, cylindrical sausage that has wheels and is riding around the country and has been doing this for like the last 70 years.
Is that a Pittsburgh-based company?
No.
Okay.
No, that's I don't know who Oscar Mayer's part of, but it's Oscar Mayer brand. Anyway, I would like to just be able to have a business card that says driver Wienermobile.
That would be quite a conversation at a bar if you were trying to meet someone. It's like, hey, so what do you do? Oh, I drive the Oscar Mayer Wheelbarrow, and them to just do a double take on you. It's like, hold up, are you serious? And you pull out a business card, and they're just gawking at it while they're looking at you head to toe and be like, this can't be serious. And you're like, nope, I'm dead serious.
Again, all these things work together. They really do. I mean, the Oscar Mayer Wienermobile ought to have the chief grilling officer from Reynolds Wrap traveling inside of it with the drinking intern, all going to Major League Baseball stadiums, parking lots, and spreading mirth and merriment and bad beer and salty hot dogs.
Easy on the bad beer part. Easy on that. You enjoyed the Natter, unless you were lying to me. You enjoyed your drink this weekend.
It's because it tasted like strawberry juice. I mean, it's like it tastes fine, but it's nothing that I'll actually go out of my way to order anymore. If I want a beer, I'm going to get a beer. If I want juice, I'll drink juice.
I guess, yeah, that sounds kind of like Tommy. So Tommy will explain.
Am I just getting older by the moment here as I continue to do this segment with you?
Nah, you're good. I just like messing with you. You're a kid at heart. We've talked about this. That's why we mesh so well together. Is because your humor and my humor is mostly the same. Now, there's occasionally a joke that you'll tell me or I'll tell you that we'll look at each other like, what the hell are you talking about? But most of the time, we laugh at the same things because we have the same type of humor because you're a kid at heart. And I'm at least in my outlook on sports, I have more maturity when it comes to arguments pertaining to my generation's sports figures and then the older ones because I give a lot more respect than most other athletes, most other my generation does.
Tye, you and you put our ages together and it equals 66. If you put the ages of our sense of humors together, I don't think you get to double figures, all right? So maybe that's why it works so well.
Is that where I throw in a 69 joke right now? No.
That's where you do 3 more than you get. So, yeah, sure, why not? You already did. You can't take it back. All right, you know what else you can't take back? The fact that the Baltimore Orioles absolutely suck. This is an embarrassment of a baseball team.
Please read what you wrote on our rundown.
This is an embarrassment of a baseball team. I said the Baltimore Orioles suck. I'll just leave it at that. The Orioles have lost 6 games in a row after being dropped by Oakland 3-2 yesterday. All that is the first of a 7-game West Coast swing. They got to go all the way from Baltimore. So to lose at Oakland and then go to Seattle for 4 games. Admittedly, Seattle's like trading everybody away. I mean, Baltimore has look. Last year, Baltimore had sort of an historic bad year, one of the worst seasons in the history of the game. One of the 20 worst winning percentages. They won 29% of their games. They went 47-115, and now they're doing even worse. You put the last 2 seasons together for Baltimore: 68 wins, 166 losses. That's a .291 winning percentage, which means they're losing about 70% of their games. And, boy, that is rough. Have fun with that, Adley Rutschman. And Adley Rutschman's a great ball player. That's a cornerstone of a franchise eventually. But it's just one player. And as great of a catcher and hitter as Rutschman is, it's going to take a minute for that Baltimore Orioles team to turn things around. I mean, look at what they're doing in that division. I mean, you've got the Yankees, who it doesn't matter how many players are hurt with the Yankees, they still win games. They just get Edwin Encarnacion in a trade, and they got all the money in the world. The Boston Red Sox, that's the same thing. You know, Tampa Bay is the most creative major league organization out there, and I mean they're winning games too. And Toronto's not very good, but they're not in the category of suckiness that Baltimore is. I think Baltimore might be stuck in the basement of the American League East for years and years. And they deserve to be. Look, if there was such a thing as relegation in Major League Baseball, like English soccer or European soccer, Baltimore would be a Double-A team by now. Get off my lawn.
So, have you ever been to Baltimore? I know that's kind of in your area. Okay.
Yeah, I've been to Baltimore a few times. I haven't been to an Orioles game in a long time, but I did go to a game the first year Camden Yards was open in '92, and they hosted the All-Star game in '93, and I was lucky enough to attend that game.
That's one of the cities that's on my bucket list. It's not up top by any means, but it's at least on there to eventually go visit.
You want to talk about a good food city? Baltimore is especially great with seafood and crabs and and it's terrific. It's really great.
I feel like I've seen a Man vs. Food spot or a Diners, Dive-Ins, and Drives there. So, yeah, any like major town typically has something they're known for food-wise, so you can't go wrong most of the time as long as you know where to go.
Well, Baltimore used to be known for good baseball, but it's been a minute. All
right, I was just talking about how my respect for kind of the older generation, older audience, and I love to diss sometimes the generation of athletes that I grew up with. And I'm going to say something here. For those out there that don't think LeBron James's career was dramatically impacted by Ray Allen's shot in Game 6 of the 2013 NBA Finals 6 years ago that happened today, you can get off my lawn. Here's the play.
James catches, puts up a three. Won't go. Rebound Bosch. Back out to Allen. His three-pointer. Bang! Tie game with 5 seconds remaining. Spurs do not have a timeout. But the officials are going to review to see. Green trying to get free. Cross-court pass to Green. Green blocked by Bosch. Game over. There'll be a Game 7.
So, Phil, if not for Ray Allen's shot, that was one of the most incredible shots I've ever seen for him to be able to do that after Chris Bosh got that rebound. LeBron James's career would be dramatically different. If they would go on to lose that series against the San Antonio Spurs, that would make him at that point 3 out of 4 losses in the NBA Finals. That means he would only have 1 NBA Finals win, and that was the 2012 against my Thunder. But they were able to overcome the Spurs and beat them in Game 7. But I just wonder how much his career, we would look at his legacy today. And I think it's already been diminished a little bit based on what happened this season with the Lakers. But you can't tell me that if Ray Allen doesn't hit that shot, that he would be still in the same conversation at this point in time with Michael Jeffrey Jordan. So anyone who doesn't agree with me there can get off my lawn.
Well, I mean, it's all about, when you're going to compare, so much of it is about titles between the two of them and how many times LeBron has been there and how many times he's lost the finals and how Michael never lost in the finals. The finals are the definitive aspect to the two of them in the conversation, I think. To me, because a lot of statistics almost seem like a wash. You could also think the same idea perhaps maybe about like Shaquille O'Neal and Robert Horry. Horry hits a couple of huge shots long time ago that wins them games in the finals, and I forget exactly some of the situations, but and it's not like Horry was just some bit player, but without his huge shots near the end of some of those games, do the Lakers even win a couple of the titles that they had with Kobe and Shaq?
Game 4, 2002 against the Sacramento Kings against in a series that I think Tim Donahue said was rigged because he hits it. If he doesn't hit that shot, they go up 3-1, and they have a chance to close it out at home. Instead, the Kings lose in 7 games. But, yeah, that was one of the biggest shots in NBA history, his Game 4. I can't remember if he banked it over Chris Webber or not, if he just swooshed it. But, yeah, just an incredible shot.
All right, my last is so I had dinner last night at one of the nice steakhouses downtown Omaha. I figured I might as well just pamper myself.
It is Splurge Day. So
today is actually Splurge Day
Splurge
across
Day,
the country.
Man.
But I did that last night. I'm not going to splurge today. I celebrated a little bit early with a nice steak, a nice Manhattan, or it was an old-fashioned, a nice old-fashioned, some blue cheese potatoes, and sitting up at the bar and eating this great meal. I end up a couple sits down next to me, and they are franchisees of Burger King. And it's kind of, well, here they are. They're not going to eat at Burger King. They're going to eat a nice steak before they head to St. Louis for some Burger King convention in which all of the franchisees will be tasting this Impossible Burger. Have you heard about this thing, Ty?
I have not.
I don't know if it's down your alley or not, although I know you're into the plant-based protein bars now.
As of yesterday,
as you now spend your money on quote-unquote health foods. I guess this is sort of like a health fast food, if you want to use that term. I don't know if it's the case really, but these are plant-based burgers. It's only the 20th try to make a meatless burger, but this is actually supposed to really taste like a burger and actually have the texture of a burger instead of, just like you're chewing on snot, which nobody really wants to eat, even if it tastes like a burger. I don't know if I could get with this thing, and I don't like to be fooled by food. I want to taste what I'm tasting. If I want something to taste like a cheeseburger, then I think I want a cheeseburger. If I want something that's plant-based, I think I'd rather it taste plant-based, whatever that means. So for the Impossible Burger, I don't know. I would have to say, now I'm not against any foods like this. People need to be able to eat what they want, but for me, I just wouldn't be able to eat anything like that. I want a burger to be a real burger. So get off my lawn and get out of my bun.
So I'm looking at Impossible Foods' Twitter feeds, and again, appearance isn't everything because we know how those photos can be doctored up and stuff like that, but at least good looks good. Like, you know how there's some foods you look at and you just can tell that's going to be disgusting. I'm not going to like that. I can at least tell it looks good, and I'm always the guy, because of my stomach, because of the fact that I can just eat about anything, I'm okay with trying something once, especially if it's a health option that I may potentially like. Kind of like this weekend where I shopped and got some plant-based stuff because I'm trying to look at least decent for when I have my shirt off in 4th of July in Nashville in a couple weeks. So I'm kind of with you. I'm skeptical, but I'll at least try it. But I'll have no problem absolutely blasting it on the air if it's not good afterwards.
Look, every time I've tried one of these hot dogs that's supposed to taste like a hot dog, it really just tastes like what I thought the inside of my shoe would taste like with some salt added to it. You know, the Boca burgers and stuff like that. It's just kind of, you might as well just take a handful of the ground-up tire at artificial turf on a baseball field at Vanderbilt and put that in your mouth because that's the same consistency. So I just can't trust this stuff. Just get out of my mouth. Get out of my system.
So I think we talked about this a couple weeks ago, how Giants fans were really angry that they drafted Daniel Jones, former Duke quarterback, didn't have just jump off the page numbers when he was a Blue Devil. So he was at a Yankees game, and they might have been playing the Orioles. I can't remember, but he got shown on the, not Jumbotron, but the screen, and they started booing him. Phil, he has not played a snap for the New York Giants. And
That's awesome.
And I get.
Welcome to New York. Welcome to New York, kid.
And we joke about how Philly fans are rough and New York fans are rough, but my goodness, man, like, give the kid a little bit of slack. I know that's not the guy that they wanted in there. They were wanting possibly Dwayne Haskins and some other quarterbacks on the board, but the guy hasn't played a snap, and there's been plenty of quarterbacks over the years who didn't look like good draft picks, who were drafted late or were just not projected to be good NFL quarterbacks, and they turned out fine, or they turned out to be good franchise guys. Give the kid a chance. Until then, get off my lawn, Giants fans.
I think Giants fans, paid attention to all the draft analysts that said they can't believe that the Giants picked Jones, what was it, 6th overall? Mm-hmm. That he could have been, like a late first-round pick, and potentially the Giants could have gotten him in the second round.
Yeah.
But that's the guy they wanted. I mean, they pinpointed him from the start. And I don't know, who would get more boos at Yankee Stadium? Do you think Jones or Eli Manning right now?
I think Manning's got the 2 Super Bowls, so I think they'll give him a little more credit. Probably Jones, but it's funny how their resemblance is uncanny. They look so much alike. It's weird. Have you seen them side by side? Yeah, I'm not going to say they look like twins, but it's pretty stinking crazy how much they look alike.
How do you like that? All right, we better step aside for a break. We'll talk some College World Series in a moment, but first, Ty, tell them what's going on with Nick and Ellie Glidewell.
Sorry, I turned off my mic for a sec. Nick and Ellie Glidewell, really good real estate agents here, and the real estate market is hot right now. It's time to sell your home. They can get you top dollar for it. Now, there's some real estate agents that don't do a good job of marketing your house. They are very aggressive and very good about doing it a variety of ways, whether it's professional photography, video, drones, 3D virtual home tours. They're going to try a lot of different ways to get your home sold. And they've been doing it for a while now, over 10 years, so they know what they're doing. They know that they love what they do, just like Phil and I love doing sports radio, and Phil loves doing Arkansas baseball and women's basketball. They love what they do. They advertise social media, TV, here on radio, newspaper, and much more. So they're going to get to potential buyers a variety of ways. You can find them on Facebook or Instagram, or visit their website at nickandellie.com.
Keeping it going with a quick update on the College World Series before we talk Arkansas baseball with Matt Jones. It's halftime on ESPN Arkansas and hitthatline.com.
Shooters shoot. You're listening to Halftime. It's Southern Tire Mart Free Brake Inspection Tuesday. This is the Morning Rush.
What Arkansas wasn't this year was clutch. They stranded runners all year, and they really were a team that was built to build early leads in the first through fifth innings to hang on to them. This was not a come-from-behind team by any way, shape, or form all year long, and I don't know why we would expect yesterday in the ninth for them to make a come-from-behind victory, because that really hadn't been their MO all year.
Don't miss the Morning Rush. Weekdays from 6 till 9. Only on ESPN 95.3.
Right now at Randall Ford, sales tax paid. You heard right. Sales tax paid on all new and used vehicles in stock. Sales tax paid. Plus, we want your trade. Randall Ford is paying top dollar for your trade with a huge selection of cars, trucks, and SUVs. Why buy anywhere else? Stop in today. Sales tax paid and top dollar for your trade. Randall Ford, 5500 Rogers, or online at randallford.com. Fourth oldest Ford dealer in America with approved credit. See dealer for details.
World Class Fitness in Fort Smith is not like other gyms. Open 24/7 so you can work out however, whenever you want. With women's only workout area, free childcare, racquetball courts, and large free weight area, this is the gym for you. World Class Fitness is not that gym. There are no limitations to your goals, gains, or success. No contract and special discount pricing options available. So visit WCFit.com or stop by World Class Fitness today. Don't forget to try clean cooking for your meal prep needs.
This is Mark Hurst. How important is new technology? That's a question I was recently asked by a student at a career day presentation at a local school. At Hurst Family Dental Care, we use new technology like digital x-rays, an iTero scanner instead of those messy impressions, and an Invisalign outcome simulator which can show you within minutes how Invisalign can straighten your teeth. Give us a call at 474-1972 and let us show you how new technology makes a difference in the way we are able to care for you. Hurst Family Dental Care, a name you know and a name you can trust.
Chalupas, tamales, and refried beans. The freshest tortillas that you'll ever eat. Authentic, delicious, we all can agree. It's the real taste of Mexican food.
Juan's Mexican Restaurant is bringing back Taco Tuesday. All summer long, dollar tacos every Tuesday from 11 until 2 and 5 till 7. 3 per person dine in and 3 per carry out. So bring the whole family and enjoy Taco Tuesday at Juan's.
The real taste of Mexican food.
Tommy Kraft for the Fence Man. Do you own a business that needs more security? Or maybe you just want a better look and more curb appeal? A new fence from the Fence Man can give you both. In business for more than 40 years, the Fence Man can custom install any type of fencing, gates, controlled access, and card readers. Call the Fence Man for a quick, no obligations quote. 479-782-3936. That's 782-3936. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work.
If you have experience transporting frozen and refrigerated goods and want to be part of a trucking family with insurance and be home every week, you need to contact Brent Higgins Trucking. Since 1997, Brent Higgins Trucking in Mulberry has been proudly delivering to and from various areas of the United States, including but not limited to Oklahoma, Texas, Louisiana, and Mississippi. Brent Higgins Trucking, where you're a name, not a number. Call them at 479-997-2366 or log on to BrentHigginsTrucking.com.
On July 1st, AOG will launch many exciting improvements to serve you better. AOG is redesigning your natural gas bill, replacing our customer information system, and updating our website, customer account portal, and online payment processor, so you'll have access to real-time data, payment options, and account history, all from the convenience of your computer or mobile device. Because of these upgrades, your AOG account number will change on your July bills. For details, visit AOGC.com.
Exclusive coverage from the College World Series on Halftime is brought to you by Randall Ford, Razorback Camper Sales, and by your Arkansas Scholarship Lottery. You're listening to Halftime with Phil Elson and Tye Richardson.
Swung on and lifted deep to center. Fletcher on the run. Dominic Fletcher goes into a slide. Did he make the catch? What a catch by Dominic Fletcher. A tumbling, sliding grab, and this one belongs to the Razorbacks. Well, day number 4 at the College World Series is underway. Losers bracket, Auburn and Louisville are in the second inning, and the Cardinals leading the Tigers by a 1-0 score. Auburn sending Bailey Horn to the mound, and Louisville has Bobby Miller pitching. That is the losers bracket game, so one of those two teams' season will come to an end. And You got the primetime game is Mississippi State versus Vanderbilt. Peyton Plumlee will be the starting pitcher for the Bulldogs, and Kumar Rocker will make his debut in the College World Series, coming off that no-hitter with 19 strikeouts against Duke. The pitching performance, though, of the College World Series occurred yesterday from Michigan's Tommy Henry. Henry was the 74th overall pick in the draft. He is potentially a future teammate of Dominic Fletcher with the Arizona Diamondbacks, and he threw his second complete game shutout of the year. Earlier in the season, he threw in a one-hitter against the Citadel with 13 strikeouts, and then against Florida State, holds the Seminoles to 3 singles and 10 strikeouts over 9 innings, and ends up with a dominant performance in a 2-0 win that sends Michigan to the semifinals on Friday. Michigan right now, Tye, is in a position where they can start Jeff Criswell, the guy who started their first game against Texas Tech, and the Wolverines are in a tremendous position right now to be a very surprising entrant into the College World Series finals.
But it seems like between you, Tommy, and other college baseball analysts that I've heard, the national championship is going to come out of the Vanderbilt-Mississippi State winner tonight. That just seems to be the consensus amongst college baseball people because of how talented and how across-the-board deep those two ball clubs are.
It's the depth that more than anything. And for Michigan, really, I mean, they do have some interesting players. The right fielder is a really good player. It's their 2 starting pitchers, really, that are the dominant reasons why they're in the position that they are. So they'll have to be – Eric Bakich might have to be creative with how he uses those 2 starting pitchers. If they do win on Friday, I mean, then they'll have Henry ready to go for the championship series. And he could beat anybody. He really could. He could beat absolutely anybody, whether it's Vanderbilt or Mississippi State. The problem is beating neither of those teams twice. It's going to be really tough to do.
He's the lefty, right?
Yes.
Okay, that's what I thought. I was watching him a little bit yesterday when I was working out last night, and yeah, he had some stuff. So.
Well, and so that was last night. I think it would have been fun to watch Arkansas against Michigan at some point, but alas, not to be done. So Florida State and Texas Tech are the only game in the College World Series tomorrow, and one of their seasons comes to an end. I'm going to say Texas Tech picks up the victory. They're going to throw Bryce Bond in. I think they have more of a scary-looking offense and lineup than Florida State does. Florida State obviously has struggled to score. I mean, they beat Arkansas with 1 run, and then they get shut out in the second game. I think Texas Tech will end up playing Michigan. I think Texas Tech may end up beating Michigan anyway, so don't take the Red Raiders out of a chance to win the national title either.
All right, so Phil, you listed who you think is probably going to be the national champion. It's going to be the winner of either Mississippi State or Vanderbilt. With Arkansas out, is Florida State the team you're pulling for, or is there a team left that you'd like to see win it all?
Wow, I mean, everybody wants to pile on about Mike Martin's last season and for him to win a national title. I don't have the connection to him. I've never met Mike Martin. I respect everything that he has done, no doubt about it. But as of now, I'm not going to pull for anybody, really. I'm interested to see who wins. Look, I mean, we all know I've had a little issue with the Auburn team at times with some of the way the things the way they acted in the Arkansas series.
Yeah.
Mississippi State. I mean, look, I had some Mississippi State baseball fans in the elevator yesterday tell me that their ballpark is the Carnegie Hall of college baseball, and I thought to myself, okay, well, that's adorable. I'm going to have a lot of trouble rooting for that team. Vanderbilt, I got my issues, and maybe it's more with fans than anything else or some of the stuff that they pull, but. I mean, I think the SEC is the best league in baseball. It'd be good, I guess, for the SEC to win another national title, but you don't need the national title to legitimize the fact that it is the best league in college baseball. Right now what it comes down to, I don't really think I care who wins the College World Series. I am interested to see who wins.
That's a fair answer. I'll take it.
All right, we're going to step aside for a break. We come back, we'll have a post-mortem on the College World Series with the Democrat Gazette's Matt Jones. It's halftime on ESPN Arkansas and hitthatline.com.
The best midday show in the Natty State. You're listening to Halftime with Phil Elson and Tye Richardson.
For almost 70 years, Crabtree RV in Alma has been helping people in the River Valley get out and enjoy the great outdoors. And that tradition continues today with our brand new body shop, a first-class service department, and a friendly staff to help you choose from the top brands in the industry. So put away the devices and get out this summer to enjoy all that the natural state has to offer. With a little help from Crabtree RV in Alma, where your family's dreams come true.
At Michelob Ultra, we know it's not just about how much you work out every day. It's about how much you work into every day, too. So we brew our beer for those who realize that expending calories should never come at the expense of spending time with friends. Those who understand that just because you work out doesn't mean you can't go out. And that's why we brew Michelob Ultra to have 95 calories, 2.6 carbs, and a crisp, clean taste. Michelob Ultra, brewed for those who live fit, live fun, live ultra. Enjoy responsibly. 2018 Michelob Ultra Light Beer, Anheuser-Busch, St. Louis, Missouri. 95 calories, 2.6 carbs, 0.6 grams of protein, and 0 grams fat for 12 ounces.
Summertime is fun time, and we're all about it at Rath Auto Resources. Hi, folks. Larry Rath here with exciting news about our summer sales drive. We're out to break every sales record this summer, and we're doing it with extra for trades, fast, easy financing for every situation, and huge discounts on our entire Rath road-ready inventory. Like these special purchase 2018 Toyota Corolla LEs for only $14,848 or zero down and $229 a month while they last. Plus, we'll be giving away a showroom full of summer fun prizes, including a grand prize trip to Big Cedar Lodge. Or let us take care of the car you have with buy 3, get 1 free on all tires, free AC checks, and 10% off all AC work in our Meineke Car Care Center. Don't wait. Give us a call, go online, or visit us today to save some real money on a nicer, newer car and register to win fun prizes during the summer sales drive at Arkansas's favorite used car dealer, Rath Auto Resources, and the Meineke Car Care Center, 4515 Towson Avenue, Fort Smith, or online at rathauto.com.
No purchase necessary. Zero down payment with approved credit. See dealer for details.
Kofer's Boat Center, your authorized Mercury dealer, has been helping our customers create a lifetime of family memories for over 45 years. Kofer's carries the brands you trust like low aluminum fishing boats, low pontoons, and Bayliner powered by Mercury. Fish the finest in Triton tournament bass boats to fit every budget. Or come check out the best-selling towboats in the industry from Malibu and Axis, ready to create the best wakes and surf waves you've ever experienced. Stop by and see all the options available for your family's time on the water at Kofer's, or visit our website at kofers.com.
Do you own apartment complexes, condos, and rental property? Then you have made a great investment. Now make another great decision by calling Trinity Multifamily to help you maximize your return. Trinity Multifamily offers full-service property management, marketing, leasing, sales, and all the services to make your cash flow. Take the hassles and frustrations out of ownership and call Trinity Multifamily at 479-452-1817 or online at trinitymultifamily.com. Trinity Multifamily, your teammate in the real estate game.
This next segment on Halftime is brought to you by the Kevin Hickey Law Firm, the #1 resource for your child advocacy needs. You're listening to Halftime with Phil Elson and Tye Richardson.
And this one belongs to the Razorbacks. 1 run, 1 hit, and a runner stranded for Ole Miss in the 9th inning. The final score on a Friday night at Bob Walker Stadium. Hawks 5, Ole Miss 3. Hey, don't forget, for over 80 years, Rhodes Chevrolet has been a name that you can trust. Rhodes has always been dependable in the car buying and car owning experience. From the first time you walk into their showroom, you'll be treated like family. As part of the family-owned dealership and service department that has served the River Valley for over 8 decades. Find your next dependable vehicle today at Rhodes Chevrolet, 2800 Alma Highway in Van Buren, or at RhodesChevy.com. Rhodes, dependable since 1934. Matt Jones has been following Arkansas baseball as close as you possibly can for a long time now, and he joins us. I was about to say from Omaha, Matt, but that's just making an assumption. Everybody's got to find a way back home. Where are you?
I am between Kansas City and Joplin right now.
Kansas City on a cell phone right now. All right, so I know you would have much rather liked to stay in Omaha, but obviously not the case. So let me ask a big, broad question here, a big, broad question. Why did Arkansas go 0-2 in the College World Series?
I just said the pitching was better on the other side. I think that's got to be the answer. When you're talking about losing 2 one-run games, people say Arkansas didn't come through.
Having a lot of trouble hearing you, Matt. Is there a piece of equipment you can stick over there for a microphone? You're having a lot of trouble hearing you.
Can you hear me now, Phil?
A little better. Yeah, that's better.
Okay. Well, what I was saying is that I think it's probably pitching. When you lose 2 run games, for one-run games like Arkansas did up there against Texas Tech and against Florida State. People would say that players didn't come through with the big hits like they needed to, and that's right. They were 2 for 15 with runners in scoring position in those two games. But I think that you got to a certain point, you got to credit the other team's pitching, and especially what Drew Parrish did in the Florida State game, what the Texas Tech closer was able to do in the ninth inning yesterday. The other teams, they just outpitched Arkansas, and Arkansas didn't pitch bad, but I think they got outpitched a little bit in those two games. That hasn't happened in back-to-back games a whole lot this year, and I think that's why they're going home early.
You look at how Arkansas finished this year in games decided by one run, and it doesn't jibe with a team that won, about 70% of their games. One-run games, 5 wins, 8 losses. And to me, this tells me that Arkansas this year did a lot of big things very well. They were able to rally, hit some homers, so they get a lot of scoreless innings up there. But there were little things in the one-run games that would add up. One pitch here that's not in the right spot, one play here that's not made, one out on the bases that you make because of a mistake. All these mistakes can add up to a tough record in one-run games. I think that's also part of the reason why not did they just go 0-2 in Omaha, but they were 2 one-run losses.
Yeah, and I think that, we talked about inexperience coming into the season. I think that, older teams have a tendency to win more close games than younger teams have a tendency to do. And there were older players on this team, and I think that, the players like Zach Kinley and Zach Plunkett and Jacob Kostichuk and, Cody Scroggins and players who haven't been asked to do as much in the years leading up to 2019, they were a big reason why Arkansas got to Omaha. But I still think that there was some youth that was on display in closer games. And, when you think about having 6 position players back next year and two of your 3 starting pitchers and some guys coming out of the bullpen, I think it'll bode well for them next season. I think a lot of times you see younger teams lose close games. That's across all sports. You might see a basketball team. I remember Mike Anderson had some basketball teams that lost something like 8 games by 4 points or less one year, and then they came back the next year and they won 7 by 5 points or less, or something along those lines. So you see that across all sports, is that the younger players have to learn how to win close games, and I think that was maybe one of the areas where Arkansas youth was on display this year.
Talking Arkansas baseball with Matt Jones here on Halftime. Matt, Heston and Casey addressed it. I think Bob asked the question talking about next year potentially them getting back to Omaha. I know that's a long way away, and I know we're just trying to circle back after what we just witnessed this season, but then should that be the expectations for next year's ball club with what they have coming back, getting back to Omaha?
Well, I think internally getting to Omaha is their expectation every year. Now, whether or not that's obtainable, it's yet to be seen. They do have a lot of players back. I think they'll have 6 starters back. But it's going to be another deal next year where they have to move some guys around, kind of like they did this year. This year they moved Casey Martin from third base to shortstop, and that was an experience, at times. Moved Heston Kerstad from, one corner outfield spot to the other. They'll do that next year. They'll move Christian Franklin into center field, and there might be another spot or two where they move some players around to, try to have their best defensive lineup on the field. But the question next year, I think, is going to have to be, is the bullpen good enough to be able to get them back to the College World Series? I think from a starting pitching perspective with Wicklander and Nolan, they're going to have 2 guys that've got a lot of SEC starts under their belt going into next season. And like we said, they've got a lot of position players back, but they're losing a lot of guys out of the bullpen. And that's where you can get your heart broken. You see that happen a lot of times, especially at the College World Series. You saw it happen with Auburn the other night against Mississippi State, and it wasn't exactly just the bullpen's fault. They had some defensive lapses. But, I'm really interested to see how they're going to be able to replenish what they're losing in the bullpen, because I think they're probably going to have to go the junior college route and maybe get a pitcher or 2 out of the JUCO ranks to try and help rebuild that pitching staff in a hurry. Because outside of Nolan and Wicklander, there really aren't a lot of pitchers who were depended on a lot this year who are coming back in 2020.
Matt, you mentioned Connor Nolan. I think one of the biggest, if not the biggest, storyline combined with football and baseball heading into this year is what's his ultimate decision, what he's going to decide to do. And this may be a hard question to answer, but do you think from a baseball point of view, do you think he would be ultimately better off for his career later down the road to let go of football and try and focus on baseball and get that Friday night job heading into next year?
Well, I think he would develop more, and I don't think there's any doubt about that if you can go through fall baseball. A lot of people really undervalue how important fall baseball is to a college player's development. I've seen a number of times for players, whether it be Jack Kinley last fall or even Andrew Benintendi in the fall before he had a National Player of the Year season, where they really develop and they grow a ton during those 28 practices in September and October. And so I think from a development standpoint, if you can go through more baseball practices, it's a no-brainer. But, for him, there aren't a lot of players who get the opportunity to be able to play at a high-level football position and a high-level position in baseball, like a starting quarterback or even a quarterback and a starting pitcher. And so, it really boils down to, whether or not he's able to juggle those two sports well. But from a development standpoint, yeah, obviously it would help him a lot. You've heard Dave Van Horn and Matt Hobbs say that too, that, he would be able to develop a lot more as a pitcher, develop a lot more velocity, do more baseball-centric weightlifting. And all of those things would help him out as a pitcher if he was to, focus just on baseball. But I can't fault the guy for playing two sports if he's got that opportunity, because there's just not a lot of people who are able to do that at the SEC level.
Matt, we'll leave it there. Appreciate you joining us today, especially on your drive back from Omaha. You had great coverage of Arkansas baseball all year long. I thought your podcast was a lot of fun to listen to and very informative. So appreciate all of that, and we'll look forward to talking about it again in the future.
All right. Thanks, Phil.
You got it. Matt Jones from the Arkansas Democrat-Gazette. So what's up with the phones, right? There's something I realize this sometimes talking with the lovely lady, and I don't know if they have the same phone, but have you noticed this with some of the Apple phones, that sometimes it seems like you can hear 2 seconds and then you can't hear 2 seconds or another 5 seconds? This is an issue with some of these phones.
Calling out the big dog, Apple, Phil.
Calling out Apple. That's right, Apple. Get off my lawn. Make a better phone.
So I asked Nikki that. I asked Matt that. They're kind of in the same line of thinking. Am I over-exaggerating and am I overemphasizing that being the biggest story combined with football and baseball, maybe just baseball? Because, that's potentially your Friday night guy, right? Maybe I'm just kind of taking what I've seen and what we saw with Nolan in his start and what everyone's just kind of projecting at this point. Phil, give me your honest perspective. Is that something that's going to be talked about for the next year or so?
Yes, it will. And it's the same idea as even if you were to erase the football part of the conversation. One of the main questions coming into this last baseball season is who's your Friday night guy? And we knew who it was. It was Isaiah Campbell. The question was, could he be what you need from that role? And he answered it with a resounding yes. So that's one of the things you're trying to replace next year. Again, remove football from the conversation. When you add football to the conversation, it makes it that much more of a juicy topic with other factors. Because if you want to be a Friday night pitcher in the SEC, for Connor Nolan, you're going to need to pick up a little more velocity. You're going to need to throw harder, have a little more power behind your pitches. There's a reason why he would go 2 times through the order, and that was it.
Yeah.
When you're going to be a Friday guy, you got to be out there for at least 6 innings and be able to maybe go 7 and 8 later in the season, throw up to 100 pitches, get through the batting order 3 times. I think with Connor Nolan, the potential is there for him to be that kind of a pitcher. I think the stuff that Patrick Wicklander has already is a little bit in that category. He's got more power stuff than Nolan has. Connor's more of a ground ball pitcher that's going to throw batters' timing off. But then, add football into it, and all the time now, because think about this. I don't think Connor Nolan picked up baseball very much from the end of last year's high school season until January, because he didn't take part in fall baseball. He was playing football. That's a pretty big development time of the year, of getting stronger, of long tossing, of building up that arm strength, of getting the velocity a little bit higher. And you can do that when you're moving from the age of 18 to the age of 19. So I think that, moving from one sport to the other sometimes can stunt development in both of the sports. I think that choosing baseball means that you can focus on that, and you're just developing yourself as an athlete to throw a little harder, to get a little stronger as a pitcher, rather than, worrying about studying a playbook and sculpting your body in a different way to play a different sport that's meant for a different body type.
And I know we're going to get into this topic in the next couple months more in depth, but I'll go back to something he said to us in a conversation we had a couple months prior. He said it will choose itself, referring to the sports, referring to the decision that could ultimately await him. Phil, it's hard for me looking at this quarterback room, looking at what he was able to do as a true freshman on the mound, and looking at the potential opportunity to be the guy next year. It's hard for me to say the sport hasn't chosen itself. It's hard for me to say keep trying to do two paths when it looks like the clear one is number one. But again, it's ultimately, and this is what we got to remember, it's his decision. We can't make that for him. As much as we might think something may be better for him, he and his parents ultimately need to decide, and the coaches with Chad Morris and Dave Van Horn, what he should and needs to do moving forward.
I got a clear number one for you, Tye. It has nothing to do with football or baseball. It has everything to do with barbecue, and it's arts.
And you'll finally get to either next weekend or next week, whenever you come back up here, you'll finally get to eat it because you won't be on work hours for 7 days a week, 24 hours like your schedule's been these past couple days. For Phil, when football season approaches, that's his lax time of year.
It's like off season.
Yeah, it's like off season. But for Arts and us, that's our full-time season because when you have football season, you need barbecue. And Arts Barbecue and Burgers is the best in Fort Smith. You got ribeyes that they slow smoke and grill to perfection. They have an incredible Art Attack burger that is just off the charts. Ham, fried egg, hand-breaded onion ring, and all the fixings, plus a mound of hot, fresh fries. I'm very partial to the Art Attack burger, and just any of their appetizers are good too. Don't forget, on Fridays, catfish special at lunch, all you can eat at dinner. Anything you're going to get at Arts is going to be fantastic. Arts Barbecue and Burgers off Rogers Avenue next to Aaron's here in Fort Smith.
Cherry on the top of a Tuesday halftime next on ESPN Arkansas and hitthatline.com.
The best midday show in the Natty State. You're listening to Halftime. It's Southern Tire Mart Free Break Inspection Tuesday.
0% financing and huge spring savings on new Buicks at Harry Robinson Buick GMC. The 2019 Buick Encore, only $18,999 or just $299 a month. That's a 2019 for under $19,000. Or get 0% financing for 72 months on most Buick models, including the Cascada, Encore, Regal, LaCrosse, and Envision. Spring into savings at the #1 Buick dealer in the country, Harry Robinson Buick GMC. Exit 11 off of I-540 in Fort Smith.
It's your piece of land, your point of pride, your place of peace and quiet. Your yard means something to you. So mow like you mean business with a professional-grade Gravely zero-turn mower. Gravely means comfort. Gravely means strength. Gravely means cutting precision. Gravely mowers mean business. Gravely, build to mow the distance.
Visit Bush Machine and Tractor, 73010 Street in Fort Smith, or at bushtractor.com.
You spend a lot of time worrying about your family, so you shouldn't have to worry about your tires. Protect what matters to you with Michelin tires and experience a clever combination of confidence and performance. This summer, drive away with extra savings too. Between June 12th and July 11th, get a $70 reward card after submission with purchase of 4 new Michelin passenger and light truck tires. Your Michelin tires and savings are waiting for you at Southern Tire Mart, just off I-540 at exit 14 in Fort Smith. See MichelinMan.com/promo for complete offer details. Offer expires 7/11/2019. Void where prohibited.
Evans Body Shop is ready to get your vehicle spiffed up for all the fun activities and trips that come along with the summer. Spend your days at the pool, not worrying about getting your car fixed. We'll do that for you. We will work with you and your insurance company to make the entire process easy. Follow us on Facebook so that you won't miss your chance to win Parrot Island tickets throughout the summer. Stop in today, 412 Portland Avenue, Van Buren, and you'll see why we say
Evans Body Shop, where we meet the nicest people by accident.
The Catfish Kitchen at the top of Logtown Hill in Van Buren has lunch specials every weekday from 11 till 2, starting at only $6.99. Try the 3-piece catfish filet dinner with hand-cut fries and all the fixins. It's only $9.99, and the Catfish Kitchen is more than catfish. Try their shrimp dinners, cooked any way you like it, chicken tenders, crab cakes, or one of their po' boy sandwiches. The Catfish Kitchen, open Tuesday through Sunday 11 till 8 at 727 Fayetteville Road at the top of Logtown Hill, across from the police station in Van Buren. Invest in your family this summer with a Doughboy above-ground pool from Burton Pools and Spas. Hi, Tommy.